It's time to shake and wake up the world with the best biblical talk shows from all over the world gathered in one place. ShakeandWakeRadio.com, where the truth is all that matters, and the truth will set you free. ShakeandWakeRadio.com.
This is not some soulless factory. This is long, quiet days with the Father. This is obedience. This is cold, early mornings, tired, rough hands, and hot summer days. This is quality before quantity. This is where you're not just a customer, you're a client. I don't just work for you, but with you. This is where your ideas come to life. I am Joshua Watts. I love what I do and that I'm able to use my skills to serve our Father and you. I look forward to working with you. This is Joshua Watts Leathercomb.
CN, Portals and Stargates, Fallen Angel Ancient Technology on Spiritual Warfare Friday live 9 p.m. with Dan Bidondi and Gillyan Stone.
And welcome everybody to Spiritual Warfare Friday. We are live here on January 10th of 2026 with our guest once again, Mrs. Gillyan Stone, fresh off baby number 2. So congratulations to Mrs. Gillyan Stone, second son here. So that's great, man. And this is it's a blessing. You know what I mean? I love kids, and it's a blessing. And thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thanks so much for having me, Dan. I'm excited for tonight's discussion and just see where the Lord takes us.
Absolutely. So we're going to talk about portals. The title is CERN, Portals and Stargates, Fallen Angel Technology. We get some biblical and references from the Book of Enoch as well. And just like ancient cultures. I mean, all the ancient cultures talked about the gods, they called them because they couldn't describe them. I mean, they were fallen angels. The Anunnaki, how they were able to transport around. And they literally have these stone circles and all that with these intricate designs and everything. And when you look at CERN, the CERN is like the technology today is a mimic of those ancient structures. You know what I mean? And it's not a coincidence, too, when certain governments step in, they find these things, they end up confiscating them or taking them down. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in this world that it's beyond human understanding. You know what I mean? And it's not folklore. It's not nothing like that. This is real stuff here. And we talk about fallen angel technology a lot. And if you go through the Bible, you will learn when the angels fell here, they don't have godly powers. You know what I mean? They don't have snap of a finger to make something appear or disappear. Neither does Satan. But they're very vast, intelligent beings, I should say, and they use technology, and the Bible showed it, all the ancient cultures showed it, how they have advanced technology that they use to get around and all this other stuff. So we're going to dive into this tonight, guys, but before we get going, I want to thank ShakeandWakeRadio.com for carrying the show on the awesome, amazing network, and also WattsLeather.com, where your custom leather project becomes a reality. And, of course, EstherJades.com. Discover the power of holistic wellness for your mind, body, and spirit. Transform your life with natural solutions. So there's our sponsors tonight, guys. And one more time, celebrating 250th anniversary of this great country that the Lord's given us. And I'm just blessed to even be born here, you know what I mean? And so we could say a lot of things and, bad things going on in the economy, this, that, and the other thing. But, here's the thing, the reality of it all. What other country would you rather be in right now? You know what I mean? And compared to most countries, we got it very well here, regardless of the gas prices or whatever's going on. So I'm just blessed to be part of this nation here, and it's just like when God gave the Jews the land of milk and honey, they were blessed. They were told to protect the land, have not pride, you know what I mean? Have probably a certain kind of pride, but have pride in your land, be protective of it, take care of it. The same thing we got in Eden. garden told him to take advantage of the garden. He said to keep it up. Take care of it, all this other stuff. The same thing in this country. So, but that's another show altogether. And again, let's jump into this here. And if you want to do a prayer, or you want me to start off?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Dear Lord, thank you so much for gathering us together today to talk about this topic, because it's huge, especially with what is going on in this world. I think that more now than ever before, we need to really know what's going on in our world through a biblical lens, and just move forward in joy and preparedness for what is to come and how we can prepare for it today. And thank you so much for Dan and his heart to serve you, Lord. And I just ask that you please keep the connection stable, keep all of the waves in the air, all of them protected by you, Lord, and just keep us on and help everything to just go really well. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Yeah, because you know how these shows run.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's always something with the internet or whatever. So
Right.
Gillyan Stone is very low. All right, let me turn her up here. So, is there a way to turn your microphone up? Or?
It's up 100%.
Oh.
I don't think. No, I think everything's turned up.
Okay, let me turn it up on my end here.
Okay.
So me turn her volume up. So the videos, when they play, they might be a little loud. So
Yeah, no problem.
I'll blast you up to 150.
Okay, sounds good. Let me know when the first one is the first
Yep.
video is, or if we should just get into the topic first.
Yeah, absolutely. And again tonight, CERN, portals, Stargates, fallen angel technology, and all that. So I got your videos ready. I got all the stuff ready for you.
Right. Okay, awesome. Well, let's get started in talking a little bit about CERN, which is why Jan invited me on. So a lot of people don't really know a whole bunch about CERN, because it is filled with not only, demonic presence, of course, but it is also fully in the scientific world, I guess you could say, for people like us who do not study things like rocket science. It's something that can be a little bit confusing. So CERN was established, and I think that this is very curious. I want to hear your thoughts about this, Dan. It was established in 1954, the same year as MK Ultra was established. And ever since it's kind of the Hadron Collider, ever since that they created it, their first, I guess the first ever Hadron Collider, and the only Hadron Collider, I should say, was actually built in 2008. And right after it turned on for the very first time, to follow, we had one of the biggest market crashes in history. And so I thought that that was very interesting. And every few years it shuts down, and every few years it turns back on. And each time it either turns on or shuts back down, there are some really interesting world events that follow. Like I said before, the 2008 stock market, the 2008 market crash, sorry. Not stock market crash, but also in, I believe it was 2013, when it shut down again, Russia actually experienced this massive celestial airburst, and they said that it was this meteor. Now, personally, I don't. Why is there a fly on my? Anyways, when this happened, they said that it was a meteor, but I'm not exactly sure of how much I believe in meteors, being a classical biblical cosmologist. Would love to hear your thoughts on that too, Dan.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of stuff. And then on top of that, at its routine period, shut down between 2018 and 2022. Of course, what happened during those years is we experienced a I guess, worldwide pandemic, and or plandemic, whatever you want to say. And that really determined just how little freedom we have around the world. I mean, obviously you had countries like New Zealand or even Australia that just went so crazy and on the lockdowns, where people literally if you left your house, you were in big trouble. Same thing with like China and whatnot. They were insane with the lockdowns during COVID. But yeah, those are some of the things that are really questionable about the kind of coincidence between CERN and all of these world happenings. And on top of that, CERN shut down on July 4th. And so it will not be opening back up until 2030, which is where a lot of conspiracy theorists or truthers like me are really raising questions and awareness about this particular oddity, and are essentially just trying to figure out what all this means, really.
Yeah. Now, as you can see up on the screen, that's what CERN is, like a particle collider. And at first they said, when the idea of CERN at the time was like they wanted to recreate the Big Bang Theory, which
Exactly.
Yeah, and which they couldn't. You know what I mean? Even the scientists said we need to go back to the drawing board on the Big Bang Theory. And the Big Bang Theory is, a Jesuit Belgian priest, Georges Lamartis. He's the one who came up with the idea, and that's why the Jesuits like, oh yeah, they take credit for the discovery of the Big Bang, which is a big dud. You know what I mean? The Big Bang is complete opposite of what Genesis teaches. You know what I mean? So, and it's funny how people say, oh, that stuff, Big Bang Theory and evolution go along with the Bible. Well, first off, if you think that, you don't know the Bible, because it's exact opposite of what the Bible teaches. However, it was a big bust, and we know there was nothing to do. They know there's no Big Bang Theory, the elite, and they know there's nothing to do with that. It was more of a broader agenda behind creating this hadron collider. And we, me, and Gillyan, especially Brian, we all been on this for day one, and we believe there's a lot sinister mission for this hadron collider for portals, and they actually talked about opening up portals and bringing the stuff in, taking stuff out, things all that nature there. So I really believe that is part of the end time significance. Maybe when the key to Abaddon is opened up, whatever the case, the bottomless pit. We don't know. Could be a bunch of different things.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do think that it's the whole entire premise of finding this God particle is very interesting to me, because they say that they're specifically on the hunt to gather what is called dark matter, whatever that is, to basically gain access to create this portal to essentially receive the God particle. And what I think is most interesting is that this supposed God particle, right? They say that God doesn't exist, but they call it a God particle. Riddle me that one. But they basically claim that this God particle can create worlds at will, just like the Big Bang, like Dan said before, which I think is very interesting, especially when we think about, things like, you can get into a various amount of, I guess, conspiracy theories, especially with how the fallen angels are able to move across the world via, in my opinion, portals, as well as things like Bigfoot, how Bigfoot has been able to be hidden this whole time. And there's a lot of theories that Bigfoot can, open and shut portals at will. There's even accounts of satanic ritual abuse victims who even describe actual satanic shamans being able to shapeshift into Bigfoot-like creatures and open portals. And then even we had Rosemary, who was, and I'll say allegedly, but we don't know, but we know, was allegedly the nanny of Elon Musk, and saw him actually open portals at will. And on top of that, we're seeing Elon right now do a lot of things with AI after supposedly being completely against it and its superiority over mankind. He's now fully diving into the transhumanist idea of allowing AI to intertwine with the chip to, in his own words, essentially override the human's comprehension system. So basically override our thoughts and our minds using AI and this Neuralink brain chip. Now, what do you think that sounds like, Dan? Because that sounds a whole lot like the mark of the beast to me.
Yeah, yep. Exactly, them grooming us for the mark of the beast, because we understand there's two aspects of the mark of the beast. I mean, you have to take a spiritual allegiance to the beast to worship the beast. Then you get a physical, technological, biometric chip to function in the society. You know, our digital ID, money, and all the other stuff that goes along with it. So it's there's a lot involved. But man, it's like they're just here to groom us toward that step. And I really believe the final step will be the so-called alien invasion coming. Revelation 16 talks about this, the great deception, and the Bible warns us, like I have to say all the time, these things are not aliens from outer space. The Anunnaki are actually fallen angels, and these aliens are demons, as the Bible says. So, it's all connected here, because opening gateways and portals, because you got to understand these things are interdimensional. So all this stuff goes one hand in another, and that's where we all cover. You know, I mean, all this facets of this whole New World Order system, this technological control grid. And there's a lot involved, like I said, but we need to try to break it down, understand it, and so we ourselves don't be duped by it.
Right. Yeah, I 100% agree with that. And I think one of the most important things to realize too about agencies, companies, etc., like this, is that it's all very rooted in religious systems, and a lot of people don't really seem to understand that. I know that this audience probably does understand that very well, and so I think that I mean, I don't know if many people have even seen most of the like feeds of the opening ceremonies of CERN, which is why I wanted to send you those videos today to kind of check out for the audience, because it really is jarring when you think about it. Because even if, like, say this was all like mumbo jumbo, and say that the conspiracy theorists were absolutely crazy for suggesting that this was occult and this was demonic, etc., why incorporate the demonic into your opening ceremonies every single time you essentially power on literally power on this Hadron Collider? Why all of the theater, the demonic theater, and why even a need for an opening ceremony? You know, like, if it wasn't religious, why even incorporate an opening ceremony? Why not just power it on? I mean, this is science, right? This isn't theater, unless it was something a lot deeper.
And then when you go through the video, we're going to show you there's multiple cultures doing rituals. I mean, we've showed certain African rituals. They're satanic, literally. They're voodoo rituals and all that, which are being done in here. I noticed some rituals from Egyptian-type rituals, too, from the Book of the Dead and all that, which is in here. It's crazy, man. And just watching this, and I'll go to the feed if you want me.
Yeah. Let's start with the one that's captioned Summer of 2016 in Switzerland. I think that one would be, like, super interesting for people.
She joins us now watching the ceremony. I was just saying there, Imogen, this very enjoyable spectacle with dancers, and I presume some people that have taken part in the project as well, shows just how immensely proud the Swiss are of this tunnel for so many reasons.
Here we go. Yeah, you're good.
Yep.
Yeah, this one's like crazy. It's only a few minutes long, but I figure it's definitely something to look at here.
Get 3 spirits rising up in the eyeball. Some crazy stuff here. What the heck?
Yeah, it's insane. Like, even with like the Beatles symbolism, here, like all the bugs emerging from this like screen's mouth, all this stuff. It's like reminding me of like Lord of the Flies, like the Beelzebub type thing, or Beelzebub.
In Egyptian rituals, they had a lot of things of beetles and everything, and
yeah, and then this goat head, so crazy. Yeah, and I guess we could like decode some of
Okay, so
this
we're
too,
gonna
because
talk
Yeah.
about
it
something
really
when
is
we're
like
looking
a.
Okay, so
It's
go ahead.
this is a
Doc,
religious
start questioning.
ceremony,
Yes,
and they said
they
it was
are
just a
zombies.
joke.
This is like an
but
army
why
of
hit it dead on?
zombies.
Like even the woman in Scarlet, the horror Babylon.
Yep.
Like this is just.
Yeah, some crazy stuff.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yep, that's the end of that video. Yeah, wow. And we got the whole videos we could go through too, guys. Just wanted to show you a gist of it. And that's some crazy stuff. And if you actually think this is, because the average person will be like, wow, what a show. And they have no clue what they're seeing. You know, it's like with the Super Bowl shows, the Olympic ceremonies and all that. People think, oh, it's a show, right? But you see this Dark Lord coming out of the middle of the field, people pointing with triangles and all kinds of crazy stuff, man. And
Yeah.
they're applauding what they're saying because they have no clue what they're saying, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like it's so in our face that like you're left wondering if it was a joke, but it's very obviously not a joke. I mean, like the first few seconds that played of this clip, I mean, behind in like this green screen type background, there's like this swirling circle of eyes, which is interesting because like you think of the all-seeing eye, but I don't know about you, Jan. Do you agree with this? It kind of reminds me of like an Ophanim of like what Ezekiel saw.
Oh, yeah. Your giant
so
eyeball
as-
with the...
Exactly, yeah. And so as we know, if there were good Ophanim that Ezekiel saw, there are surely evil Ophanim that we saw or that they see as well. And on top of that, like rolling out in this same like kind of scene, you're seeing these people with like clear veils over their heads, and you're seeing like this goat come out, and it kind of like reminds me of like the Souls of the Damned type scenario, and you're seeing like this goat head. And what's interesting is I noticed that all of these people who had these like clear veils, they sort of looked androgynous, and so it almost seems as though the identity of this Baphomet character that's walking down is kind of like this identity theft. And when you get the idea of like CERN in general and the way that they are after this God particle, this basically this world creator, essentially this portal creator, you think, how is it possible that they, don't believe in God, that they believe that God is not real? And it's sort of like it aims at the lost to kind of steal the identity of who formed the earth and who fully created it. And I think that it's just a major scenario to really ponder when, I mean, to be honest, we're being completely gaslit about CERN, and CERN, the creators of CERN, they want us to believe that this is all just a joke, and it's totally not, because you get like 11 seconds into this clip that, like the first clip, and you're seeing this like baby head emerge with like these devilish wings, and it's indicative that they're like ushering in this Antichrist figure, because how else is this spawn? It's like literally like a spawn of Satan is like what they are basically saying that this Hadron Collider is capable of doing. And I really I get the heebie-jeebies of this because like how could you joke about this,
Yeah, it's insane. And I can show you actually through some of these rituals here too, if we skim through. So as you're watching this here, there shouldn't be no copyright on here, but everybody else uses it, so I think we should be able to use it here.
Yeah, this is public domain.
All right, so you've seen some of these rituals going on. Half-naked men, looks like an LGBT pride parade going on over here, discussing stuff. And you got this weird big head creature with apparently angel wings. Looks like the village people did. Now right here you got this. This is actually an African ritual in voodoo. Then they have bales of hay that literally like sometimes it's people in there, sometimes it's actually demons.
Yeah.
And this one here is more of Celtic rituals going on over here. So as you see, it's multi-diverse cultures taking part of the ceremony. And here too, I think so yeah, it's a mix of African.
Yeah, and you're seeing like the satyr symbolism as well.
Yep.
Which, like, in hindsight, when you think about it, like the satyrs mentioned back in Isaiah, like this was before Greek mythology was like, you know, written into place. I mean, you think about the history of the Old Testament and how far back it goes in the way that they describe certain creatures.
Mm-hmm.
And it really just puts into the perspective that pretty much every culture is the same. It just has different names for each god and each different, I would say, mythological creature, whether it's, you know, a satyr or a siren or and then in this video right here, you're seeing like literally the Shiva, the circle of chaos that they're oh my gosh. And then Mother Teresa. Wow. The face of Mother Teresa.
And look at this up
crazy.
here. You got three spiritual.
I was like looking at, I'm like a little bit far back, so I was like looking at everything. But you're seeing so much symbolism of not only the biblical side, but also the pure religious factor of the occult. And really, you have to keep this in mind when we're thinking about end times, because I think that we're in a time, and in the chat, like, you know, tell me if you relate to this. And Jan, I bet that there's a level you could relate to this too, because I often wrestle with this idea that we could possibly be in the end times, because I guess it's just human denial sometimes.
I think we
but
are.
at the same time, you know, I'm not stupid at the same time, so
Yeah.
of course I'm preparing. But it's just so in our face that it's happening, that it almost seems like you don't want it to be real. And these are the times where we need to remind ourselves this is very real. And man, like I had like a mini freak out today. I'm not kidding. I had like a little mini freak out because of just everything that is going on. I mean, wars. We're seeing this CERN thing that we're talking about. We're seeing the rise of AI and how it's going to take over. We're seeing celebrities just push this system. And on top of that, we're seeing the church even like accepting AI. I read this statistic like a month ago, I would say, that the most religious people right now are the highest users of AI. Imagine that. The most religious people. So people who go to church every Sunday, people who are most, I guess you could say, do the most religious style things. And this is not like this is a pretty broad spectrum of religiousness. So it could go from like Catholics to Mormons to like Muslims, etc. But the most religious people right now who claim a religion, they're the highest users of AI, whereas atheists and people who don't identify as religious, they are the lowest users of AI. Isn't that interesting? And
Well, look,
go ahead.
I was going to say, they have literally AI Jesus. It's kind of crazy. Where's this church here? It's in Switzerland, and I'll show you in a second. It's a chapel, St. Peter's Chapel in Lucerne, Switzerland. And it's an AI avatar Jesus where people can come confess their sins to.
Oh my gosh.
Imagine a church endorsing that instead of telling people, hey, you don't need to come here. You can just talk to Jesus in your car. You know, you can talk to Jesus, walking down the street. You know, you don't need to go talk to a machine to confess sins.
Wow.
It's pretty crazy. It's kind of funny to look. Lucerne, Switzerland. Yeah, it's weird.
Interesting. And you said this is a Catholic church?
Yep, St. Peter's and
is this guy, this AI, is this in like a confession booth?
Yep, Jesus sat in the confessional booth to offer visitors theological and personal advice.
Oh my word. I had no idea about any of this, and this is certainly news to me. Let's just say that. Wow.
So that's where we're going.
It's just so manipulative.
Yep.
It's so manipulative of people who are just spiritually blind, and let's just put it like that. I mean, I don't mean to be cruel or rude when I say that, but it's just, you're spiritually vulnerable. You're looking for someone to turn to. And the idolatry is so powerful that you can't go to prayer by yourself. You need to access AI to get a personal feel with
Well, look
Jesus.
at this one. They got a whole website, the JesusAI.com. I just seen this.
Yeah, and I actually got offered a brand deal. I will say I got offered a brand deal where people could essentially speak with the prophets, the Virgin Mary, Jesus, etc. And I was so appalled at this, and I said, listen, like, I can't do this. I can't do this for a plethora of reasons. It is so wrong, and it is, like, it's literally blasphemous towards, I mean, Jesus alone, but then to basically try to have conversations with the dead in general, and as if AI, like the entity, isn't already like a demon when you are asking it personal questions like that. It really just goes to show that the vulnerable are being preyed upon so much right now. And this is just becoming normalized. This stuff is totally becoming normalized. People are becoming desensitized. And to be completely honest, I really do believe that it's because of rituals like CERN, like the public display of occult rituals, that stuff like this is becoming normalized, because they're so desensitized to something not normal that it kind of just becomes normal and becomes okay and becomes kind of just like the default thing to do.
Well, a lot of people also attribute the Mandela effect to CERN as well. That's what I heard anyway.
You know, I saw that too. Personally, I hadn't had any sort of Mandela effect of any kind happen, but one of like the biggest things, in everyone's been having like internet connection issues lately. Like everyone has, including myself. Like I had weird internet connection issues over the past few days, and like leading up to CERN's like power down. And I asked my husband, I was like, have you noticed something? Because like I try to bait him into things like this, because I never want to be the kind that's like, CERN's controlling our internet or anything like that. But I was like, Matt, have you noticed that our internet's been acting a little funny? Because apparently that's like a symptom of CERN's like power off right now. And yeah, my husband isn't exactly as truther minded as I am, so I'm like the radical. I'm a radical in my family. I'm the black
Same with
sheep.
me too. My wife was like, she don't want nothing to do with it. She goes, that's all. Yeah, I don't want to hear nothing. I'm like, all right.
I know. For me, it's just like basically my mind is a bunch of like red string and pictures and connecting all of the lines together to form one big equation.
Yep.
Yeah, that's me. But yeah, it's one of those things, you know. It's one of those things that eventually even the people who want to keep denying it can't necessarily deny it anymore. And it really is like, I mean, this is not talking about my husband in this scenario, but in a lot of ways, I find that more people now, the reason why they are ignorant still is because it's like a coping mechanism to what is currently going on, and they prefer to believe the lies that are being kind of fed to them about all of this stuff. that, you know, the truth is literally it's like a threat to their nervous system, and so they literally cannot accept it. They would rather believe the lie. And it's kind of like Stockholm syndrome, to
Yeah.
be completely honest with you. Like they would rather be in the cage. They would rather stay. And
That's the first thing
I
came to
just,
my
like,
mind.
I know. And, you know, maybe I have some sort of Stockholm syndrome of a form. I think maybe all of us do in a way, because when all of this is happening so fast, just like Jesus said it would, like it's coming like a thief in the night,
Yep.
it's kind of hard not to have like shell shock
Yeah.
and like whiplash. Like, whoa, okay, war is happening, then CERN, then AI, then all of this like revelation stuff, then earthquakes and tornadoes and tsunamis. Well, not to say tsunamis. Please no tsunamis, Jesus. Please protect us from tsunamis. But you know what I'm saying. It's like we're like, I mean, I'm honestly expecting Yellowstone to just blow up next week at this point, because it like all of this stuff is happening at such a rapid pace that like it's kind of like I keep finding myself missing, you know, the good times and wanting to make as many memories as possible right now, so that we can like have things to look back on and, you know, remember how good it really was, even in the midst of all of this.
Yeah.
And on top of that, like, I've been really just walking with the Lord on that, because there comes a point where, you know, sometimes that fear can really take hold. And, you know, the Bible tells us not to be afraid. And so I kind of go through like this cycle of like whiplash, then peace, then whiplash, then peace, then whiplash, then peace. And it's kind of like that cycle of like, do I even want to look at the news anymore? Do I even want to know what's going on, so that I could just keep my head low and just keep preparing? Because at this point, it's like, I feel like there is a level of information that human beings should not have access to, and unfortunately we're being like it's literally being shoved down our throats.
Yeah, now this next one here too, it's a little weird too. So we'll go back to the rituals here. So it shows Mother Teresa and three spirits rising and going into a portal. So let's play this for a minute. So it's Mother Teresa, a portal, obviously a wormhole opens up. Three spirits rising, look like female spirits. And they're just floating about and turns into an eyeball, I think, right?
Yeah, it actually does remind me of what is called the Matronac, the three woman like spirits that are rising up, like the maid, the mother, and the crone. Like, that's kind of like what it reminds me of. And the fact that they're like dressed as nuns too. There was actually a Roman goddess named Vesta, and that's where like the Vestal virgins came from, where they would like dedicate their lives to essentially what nuns dedicate their lives to today. Like they wear all of like they wore like the clothings back then, all of they like pledged, you know, being virgins for life, basically dedicating everything to Vesta, the like goddess of fertility, virginity, all of these things. And you think about the nuns today, they essentially do the same things, and they have their own rituals, and they cater most to the Mother Mary, of course, and they do specific rituals. The Catholic Church does during the month of May, which is like Mother's Day and stuff like that. I mean, I'll say like a good happy Mother's Day, you know, like that. I'll say that, but you know, you're not gonna catch me doing anything else than probably just Mother's Day, and then expecting maybe a card from my husband, but that's about it.
And the
That's about
massage too, right? And the dinner.
right, exactly. I mean, my Mother's Day was spent having to be less than a week postpartum and cleaning up vomit and unspeakable bodily fluids because my family had food poisoning. So that was my Mother's Day. So that was amazing. That was a great experience that I never want to live again. But yeah, I spent Mother's Day being a mother. And but yeah, the idea of the maid, mother, and crone is so interesting to me because I was actually in Pisa last year, and I was in one of the cathedrals and I noticed this sculpture, and there was a young woman. It was like a triad. There was a young woman who was like obviously Nikki Nunu, like totally like clothless. And then there was another one that looked like a mother figure that was holding two babies, which symbolizes Romulus and Remus. I mean, I was in Pisa, so very textbook Roman pagan architecture. But why was this in a Catholic cathedral? You tell me. I mean, I know the answer, but and then on top of that, there was like this older woman, and she was holding a lion by its foot, and I was like, no way. This is that is symbolic. That is actual Roman paganism here. Why is this in a Catholic cathedral? In the same cathedral, mind you, there was it was kind of like a memorial per se for a previous pope, and there was kind of like this fireplace type structure, and on each side of the pillar of the fireplace there was, I kid you not, this goat head that had a fire, like a flame with 3 flames coming from its head. And you know, like the textbook picture of Baphomet, right?
Yep.
That's immediately, I mean, it would take like a crazy person not to say that that is like the exact same thing that they were seeing right there.
Yeah, because I seen an image
And-
of Baphomet like that with a flame coming out.
Right. Yeah. It's insane. And this was like in the heart of downtown. I'm talking like across the sidewalk from the Leaning Tower of Pisa. And it is so like in your face, just the entire religious occult structure of all of these principalities. It's not just the Catholic Church, but it's also, I mean, like we saw here with CERN, it's very much so catered towards occult religious symbolism. And like you can see it with like I said, the maiden, mother, and crone, but then there's also like the satyrs who are running around. So there it's very clear exactly. Oh my gosh, the picture that you're showing right now on screen,
Yep.
the top one that you showed is like literally identical to what was in the cathedral, minus the hexagram. There was no hexagram.
Wow.
But if there was, can you imagine the icing on that cake?
Yep.
Whew. Yeah, that would have been crazy. But yeah, it's totally insane what I saw there. And there's even like outside in the courtyard right next to the Leaning Tower, there's this sculpture of this angel that's like in the ground, and the sculpture is called Fallen Angel. And it's this sculpture that's like halfway like buried in the ground, and there's like the head coming out and like the angel.
What's the name of that
wings.
place again?
Pisa, Italy. And you could look this up right now. Like you could look up Fallen Angel statue or sculpture in Pisa, Italy. And
Oh, there
kid
it
you
is.
not, it's one of the most interesting and telling sites, because it shows you what the heart of the Catholic Church truly is. Because why would they put that? Like, they're religious, right? They're so religious and they do everything for God. Why would they put such evil looking sculptures in there? Like, do you see that? Is that not insane? And I walked right next to it. You're not allowed to like go in the grass or anything, but I walked right next to it, and I was looking over to my husband, and I was like, what is going on here? Why on earth? And then that cathedral right behind, like where the fallen angel is facing, that cathedral where the fallen angel is facing is the cathedral that also had that maiden, mother, and crone symbolism. And just it really just puts into perspective a whole lot.
It makes me wonder. Pisa, Italy. Fallen Angel. Oops, Angel, not Angel. Let's get an aerial view of it. You never know what you've seen from the aerial view.
Oh yeah, totally.
And yeah,
Yeah, I really enjoyed going to Italy last year. I keep telling Matt we need to go back because there's so much, like, not only is there so much church history there, like so much happened in Italy in general, just with just the evangelization process, you know, the whole story of Jesus. Oh, you see that cathedral, the cross shape and everything that's there. And it kind of like
Oh, yeah.
reminds me more so of a key. Oh yeah, you can see it. It's right there. Oh, well, it's supposed to be there.
Oh, wow. It looks so familiar,
There it
doesn't
is.
it?
There it is. And then that cathedral that it's facing, which is like right across.
Doesn't
and
this
that,
scenario over here look familiar? Take a good look at that from there. Tell me what that reminds you of. 2 places in the world.
Where? Which one?
Capitol building. Yeah,
Washington D.C. Yeah.
Yep, and the obelisk.
The- Yeah. Yeah.
And then same thing in the Vatican too.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. And that oh wait, hold on. Was it the Circle Cathedral? I could be wrong. It's either the circular cathedral or the one that looks like a cross. That it was either one of those. I have to think about which one it was that had the Maiden, Mother, and Crone. But if you look at the pictures, I'm sure that you could see it.
Yeah.
There's like this big. It looks kind of like a gazebo almost, but a gazebo that's made out of like marble sculptures. And what's interesting is inside that there's more like pagan symbolism than just the Maiden, Mother, and Crone that was there. There's also I believe that I talked with you either with you or. We did some sort of FOJC collaboration where we talked a lot about the like Lupercalia and the Luperci and like the rituals of like the Wolfmen. But there is literally a depiction that they call John the Baptist, where this guy is literally like naked, but he's covered with this the skin of a wolf, and it's like it's very clear that it's like the Brotherhood of the Wolf, the Luperci, that you're seeing.
It looked like that ritual we were just watching too.
Yeah, exactly my point.
Actually, the next point right there. So there's a guy covered in the skin of a. Well, no, that's not a wolf. That's a
goat.
Goat, yeah.
Yep, either or. It's
Yep.
like it's either a goat or a dog that they sacrifice and wear. And actually, February actually came from a ritual that they would do where they would make these like underwear made out of the skin of the sheep or the dog or like the goat or the dog that they would slaughter, and it's called like Februa, and that's like the root word of February. It comes from like the underwear of the sacrifice of the Luperci during the month of February. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. There's a tunnel right there. Kind of crazy.
Yeah, there's absolutely nothing new under the sun.
Yep.
And it's like when you look at the symbolism here, and then on top of that, me and Tina today, we were just recording a new video that'll come out next Wednesday on the FOJC channels. I believe that she's also posting it on her channels, and as soon as she posts on her channels, I'm going to post on mine the same exact video. But we basically talked a lot about this prophecy of this boy in Mexico that was basically unraveling like this judgment prophecy where the Catholic Church was basically implemented in a lot of it, and the way that they're actually like, especially the Pope is so friendly towards AI right now is actually shocking in a way that like you would never expect for someone who is of like that level of religious leadership to be so friendly towards AI and want to work with it. Yeah, I can't get on board with any sort of like support for that type of AI where it's supposed to take over like our entire world. And
Yeah.
you know, as I know that there's a time and a place where like all technology can be good, I do want to have like a balanced mindset towards that at least.
Yep.
But in the hindsight of the way that they are wanting it to be used, essentially for God particles, creating worlds, ushering in essentially the Neuralink chip to be able to override our minds and our decision-making process, basically reprogram our brains to match what it wants us to do. Yeah, I'm not on board with any sort of funny business like that, because it's just you're getting into the realm of serious danger. And the entire mind control premise, too, the fact that it was founded in 1954, the same year as MK Ultra was founded, and they started doing experiments in 1954 on unwitting victims. It's just interesting. It's all very it seems very intelligent that these two were created at the same time, you know?
Yeah. And that's the next ritual. Oh, I mean, it's the continuation here. This is kind of weird. So, brought up the people in the sheets again. It looks like they're being tormented. So, if you look at it, it looks like they're being tormented under these blanket sheets. Then this weird guy yelling, I don't know what he's doing in that screen with Beatles and all that. So,
Yeah.
I don't know if this is some cracked out Beatles
like
concept.
Lord of the Flies.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Look at it. Are those horns, maybe? I don't know.
I'm like catching up on the feed right now. Yeah, I mean, even with the symbolism of the goat head still, it just reminds me of, like, I mean, complete demonization here.
And that's where you pointed out, too, the Ophram.
Right.
Could be their representation, which we know in the occult, everything's a perverted image of what God has.
Yeah, yeah. So, you guys, I really hope that you always remember exactly what you see here, and keep it saved, because in 2030, you're going to want to remember that again if you find yourself forgetting exactly what they're up to.
Yep.
These are rituals. These are 100% rituals, and there's no way around it.
And notice how all these horned beasts, too, that's crazy, scapegoats and whatnot, and
Yeah.
I don't know what the heck this is about. Looks like he's about to go to the bathroom. That's some weird stuff here. Are these supposed to be witches or something?
It honestly reminds me of kind of like a young Mother Teresa, but with a goat.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? I've actually heard a lot of theories about Mother Teresa being allegedly tied to human trafficking.
Oh, yeah.
Like, allegedly tied to a lot. And then also there's like this pretty interesting theory that Mother Teresa is the mother of Dr. Fauci. Have you heard that theory?
Wow. I wouldn't doubt that at all.
Okay, you should do this one. You should look up a picture of Mother Teresa.
Yeah.
And then look up a picture of Anthony Fauci. And the resemblance is, like, creepy.
Anthony.
It's pretty creepy. And that, like, the way that it's, like, all tied together, too. The mind control, the war on freedom, the health crisis, the spiritual crisis.
Oh, look at Rudy's.
All of it is, like, it's literally all connected to this conversation, no matter which way you want to go, because we're seeing the blatant, like, Roman mythology symbolism here and where it's all connected to.
Oh, look at that. The so-called fact checkers. Mind you guys, the very fact checkers are the same ones who lie to us daily. So they say, Mother Teresa is not Anthony Fauci's mother. Yeah, because
if they have to say that, then we know that it's like probably true. We don't know, but we know.
Yeah. Yeah, the same people who lie to us daily, and we're gonna listen to you. Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy how similar they look.
Let me see if we got a picture. Yeah.
The Reuters fact check is everything.
Get that? Yeah, look, they look alike. That's a picture of them together. You'll see it pop up in a second.
Yeah. The X post. Oh my gosh. Yeah, there it is. Right there. Yep, that's it. There's a lot of pictures too of like Tony Fauci like in his old age now versus Mother Teresa, like back when she was also elderly, and it's very interesting to see the resemblance. Of course, allegedly.
I wouldn't doubt it at all. I seriously wouldn't.
Yeah. So, I mean, when you look at all of these connections as far as like the tie to CERN and everything that's kind of gone down in this world, between the religious occult connection, the symbolism there, you look at the world crises that revolve around this, whether it's literally celestial, like we talked about the Ophanium, right? Or it's like a financial crisis, which we're kind of seeing with like AI taking jobs and whatnot and causing all of this type of crisis. We're seeing like the health crisis, and we're seeing the connection to COVID and all of these other things. And also you're seeing the religious aspect to it. And so it kind of is really, I mean, this is like what I'm talking to you about, like whiplash symptoms, where you're seeing all of these things go together and all of them make exactly so much sense when they're all piled into the same kind of category.
Yeah.
And really, it's just something that we should really look out for.
It is. And you see this other, the rest of this ritual going on. It looks like ancient paganism, like with them merging with the trees and stuff, nature. And you can see it pop up here. And like as you all seen here, looks like a variety of different rituals here. Definitely seen African, some Egyptian. Now looks like old like paganism here.
Yeah.
I don't know what this is here, but some weird stuff.
That kind of reminds me of like just classical like tree worship.
Yep.
You know? And what's interesting is like the way that the tree was like upside down kind of reminds me of like the nervous system.
Yep.
And the way that it like that they are kind of walking towards this upside down tree that has all of these like almost like nerve endings. And then on top of that, you're seeing these men in like the orange suits that are like,
Hey, it looks like a NASA space station video.
yeah,
Cables.
it's so weird. All of it is so weird.
Yeah, it's just like it's
Yeah, I'm
just
just like
weird
I
stuff.
find myself like almost just watching this.
Yeah.
But you're seeing the horns, the stag, which mean the stag symbolism is like apparently in the occult the stag represents like the veil, the thinning between two worlds. And then you're seeing like the symbolism of like the woman in red and all of this other stuff that's kind of coming forward. And it really just goes to show that they are essentially trying to do just that. Like they are trying to thin the veil between this world and the spiritual. And I think that that's what they truly are doing, and what they're truly striving to accomplish is essentially allowing for the Nephilim to return, in my humble opinion, through the creation of portals. And we know that there are portals accessible in the waters, there are portals accessible in the air, and also in the earth. And so there's a lot of ways that we can access Sheol. And I think that once they are able to kind of crack that code, we are going to be in for a very real, it's like the spiritual becoming physical. And that's something that I don't think a lot of people who are in this modern day and age and aren't used to. Obviously, I'm not used to that. If I saw like for instance, like a satyr coming out of the ground, I don't know what I would do. I don't think I would be too excited about that.
Yeah. And these are nothing new under the sun, guys. These things go for thousands of years here, as we talked about at the beginning of the broadcast. And these are ancient portals It's crazy stuff too, and all the ancients talked about this stuff. Beings coming in and out of these things, and hundreds of ancient cultures that didn't even know each other have the same thing, descriptions about these. And it's where the movie Stargate comes from. You know what I mean? They got it off these ideas and all that. So all the movies and TVs you've seen, even on Minecraft, right? You can make portals in Minecraft, and it all comes off of real stuff. These ancient Stargate portals and everything else, and it goes back thousands of years. And some of them have intricate designs with symbols and everything, like this one here. I know this is probably an AI creation one, but that's what they generally look like. They have certain symbols and everything that line up with each other.
Yeah.
And if you look at CERN, CERN's no different. It's just like, let me get the CERN here real quick. These are some of the CERN. Look at that.
Wow.
But using like modern day technology, it's no different. Yeah, it just like looking at these pictures is fascinating. And if you listen on shakeawakeradio.com, we're just going through some pictures and just look up pictures of CERN and ancient portals, like stone portals and everything, and you'll see what I'm talking about here. But it's just amazing.
I mean, it totally looks like one.
Yep. And CERN, the 666 there. Then they got the what's the name there? The goddess there of destruction.
Oh, Shiva.
Shiva, yeah. See, Shiva. It's right out in front of the building too. And look, she's standing in the portal.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Dan, for having me on to talk about this, because I think that a lot of people need to be looking into it.
Yep.
And doing research on exactly what they're doing, taking a look at the religious aspect of it all. Yeah, the Shiva goddess is no joke, because Shiva just happens to be the goddess of chaos. And so, I mean, that's how they get order. They believe in order out of chaos. And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to stir that up. I mean, we got that with every single disaster that CERN, that happened around CERN's startup and shutdown is literally chaos. And what did the government do after every single time that it started up or shut down? They took more control over the freedoms of Americans and also worldwide. So yeah, it's something that as Christians we need to be preparing for right now. And I think, I mean, the word of the Lord that he gave me at the start of 2026 was, it's time to get prepared. It's time to start that action where we are actively getting prepared for what is to come. So, but yeah, thank you so much, Dan,
You're welcome.
for everything and for allowing me on your show and catching up a little bit.
So, big question. Are you going to the Invading the Darkness conference?
In August?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, no. Matt is touring, but I wish that I could. I really do, because it would have been so fun, and I loved SpiracyCon last year. So I really, really hope that there are more opportunities that come. I know that there's something for Passover.
Yep, Idaho, I think, right? I think
Oregon.
Yeah.
That there's I would say there's like a 50% chance that I'd be able to go.
Nice.
It's like a coin toss of like what I'd be able to actually make work. But yeah, please guys, it's a free event. Please visit the site and sign up for it, because you are going to absolutely love what David is planning. He's told me so much about this event, and you don't want to miss out, like I am, unfortunately. I'm going to be living vicariously through you guys able to come, but yeah.
Well, if you want, when we get there, I could somehow try to pipe you in through Skype or something and say hello to everybody, and somehow work that in. Yeah. And guys, this is something you don't want to miss, because every time we have these conferences, people say, oh man, I should have been there, because you see the pictures, you see the videos. They're doing more baptisms. We got over 100 people, I think 150, 160 people already signed up. So if you want to go, it's free, guys. I put the link in the chat room, and it's also in the description. And Invading the Darkness, so it's 2 days. As I'm one of the speakers, so is Brian, so is David, some other people. We got some all kinds of things going on. Baptisms and little special events, music playing, Yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. So just sign up and put your name, and if you got family members coming, you want to be baptized, whatever the case, or if if you're new to the faith, we could definitely help you out all kinds of things. So it's going to be pretty cool. And I'm going to be doing another a seminar on demonology, basically, and what we could do today in the modern day, especially with the so-called aliens coming. I'm going to be talking about that stuff too on both days, so it's going to be really cool. And Brian, you never know what Brian's going to be talking. I love Brian.
Yeah.
So you never want to miss what Brian has to say. It's funny, good stuff too.
don't.
Yeah, I mean, I love Brian.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you so much.
You're
again.
welcome.
And I don't know, are you going to keep streaming or should I just
Oh, I could.
hop off?
Yeah, you look tired too.
Oh my gosh, I've been up since 5 a.m.
Oh, all right. So get to bed, you. Yeah.
I know, right? I'm an early bird. But thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I'll see you in the next episode and whatnot.
All right, we love you guys, and God bless you.
Bye.
Bye. So, Miss Gillyan Stone, everybody, and awesome broadcast today. Let me get my screen all popped up. And it was an honor to have her on, like usual. And good stuff, man. And yeah, we love having her on. She's like so full of wisdom, very young too. And you believe she's only in her 20s, you know what I mean? Already in her 20s, and she's got wisdom of a 100-year-old. It's great. So God bless her and her family and her second kid now. And, God bless her. So good stuff. So anyway, we're not done yet. We're going to want a couple more things I want to go over real quick here before we get going. We're going to take phone calls tonight. So again, the registration form's right there, and Evading the Darkness. If you go to FOJCradio.com, click on special events right there, and it'll bring up to the form here, all the information, the hotels in the area. And the hotels are pretty cheap too, you know what I mean, in Kentucky. So good stuff. He has the hotels and everything else, the comfort and suites and all that, and camping areas and all that good stuff. So we provide all the information, and just again, it's free, but you need to sign up. So if you're bringing your whole family, you don't have to do a bunch of sign-ups. Sign up once and put your family members who are coming, kids and everything else. It's definitely kid-friendly, so just get there. It's one of those things you just got to go. You know what I mean? Get in a car or on a plane, whatever, just go. Don't question it, just go, and when you do, you'll be like, wow, I'm glad I went. And there's a lot of people, too, that just randomly went last time. Just randomly went, so I'm just going to go. And they made the commitment to go, and they had the time of their lives. You know what I mean? So that's what it's about, man. The fellowshipping, just bringing everybody together in person, instead of looking online, Nanette and Charlie and Debbie and so on. You know what I mean? Like, we get to meet each other in person. You know what I mean? It's great. And have a great old time. Like David Carrico, his favorite word, the hootie bop. It's got to be a hootie bop. I love David. He's awesome. And Brother Brian, it's always a crazy adventure with him, man. Like, every time me and him get together, the craziest stuff happens. It's like, talk about portals and everything else. God knows what happens. Yeah, every time. We went to the last one there. It was crazy. The Passover event. We were trying to get to one of the Stonehenge places, and Brian's GPS was going crazy. So the place was like 15 minutes away. It ended up bringing us 45 minutes around the area for whatever reason we don't know. Trying to get back was another nightmare. Yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, every time me and Brian get together, it's just one of those things. It's like, it's funny stuff though. It's memorable. But yeah, CERN here, and so they're shutting down, I guess, till 2031, like Gillyan said. And if you want to look more into CERN, go for it. But yeah, they're official again. When they first came about, they said, we want to recreate the Big Bang Theory. That was the idea in Geneva, Switzerland there. We want to recreate the Big Bang Theory, and mind you, right, the amount of power that goes into this thing. And again, there was nothing about the Big Bang Theory at all. I mean, the symbolism is right in your face, literally. So we get, Genesis 6, we go over this all the time, when the sons of God, which is the angels, saw the daughters of men, and they were feared, and they took them as wives which they chose, and they had children with them. So we covered this a million times, so we don't have to go through this again. But it also talks about the fallen angels teaching men how to do certain things. And when you get to the book of Enoch, chapter 6, it says the same thing. Verbatim for Genesis 6. And it talks about how they all took a sworn oath and all that stuff, and talks about the leaders. And if you go through the book of Enoch, it's very interesting. And so chapter 13, right? Yeah, I decided to read Roman numerals sometime. So Azazel, again, this is one of the chief fallen angels. Now, there was 200 of them, right? 200 chief fallen angels. These are, not counting the other angels. Then we understand that many of these angels were cast into certain places as a prison. So there's 4 fallen angels under the great river Euphrates. That's all on record. There's some on the Tigris, I believe, or in the desert, whatever the case. But not all the angels are imprisoned. You know what I mean? A lot of them are still roaming around. So Azazel taught men to make swords and knives and shields and breastplates, and made known to them the metals, to work the metals of the earth, and to make bracelets, ornaments, and autonomy and beautifying of the eyelids, and all kinds of costly stones and all color and tinctures. So basically, talk about the creation of makeup and things like that to amplify the beauty of a woman. And that's why the Bible talks about a woman dressing modest. You know what I mean? Because if you got all these fancy jewelry on, you're showing cleavage and all this other stuff. Yeah, it turns from a beautiful woman into a very lustful woman. You know what I mean? And now the way people dress today, if you go to a beach, it's like you might just walk around naked. Seriously, the stuff that they're wearing around today. But anyway, all the stuff here, and so basically it arose much godlessness that committed fornication. You know what I mean? So it's not just about that, but they taught mankind how to do everything, the course of the moon and everything else. And you go right through the scriptures here. And one here, the 4th was named Phenemo. He taught the children of men the bitter and the sweet, and taught them all the secrets of their wisdom, and instructed mankind to write them with ink and paper, and thereby many sinned from eternity. Now, here's the thing. It doesn't mean writing with ink and paper is satanic. And it doesn't mean writing, I got to point that out too, because somebody said writing in cursive is satanic. No, but that's dumb to even think about that. So writing in cursive is the way everybody always wrote, you know what I mean? It's just like, but it doesn't mean these things are satanic, but the way they taught it. Now, there's another channel, I'm not mentioning their names, but they think using roots and herbs and seeds is satanic, because that's what witches do. No. God talks about this in Genesis, right? We could use the herbs, the seeds, and all that for health-wise benefits. But the witches, okay, and the fallen angels, they use these things for a sinister point of view. They try to use it from spells and all this other stuff. You know what I mean? But to use these things in a healthy point of view, like the stuff on EstherJades.com, it's the Bible backs it. You know what I mean? We're supposed to use these elements of the earth to help us. You know what I mean? But again, everything the occult and everything the angels taught mankind, they took things of God and put that perverted twist to them. And now with the technology, they taught mankind how to build cities. Now, if you go look at all the ancient cultures, right? They have the mythology. I don't call it mythology. I call it history. Like Greek mythology is still taught in schools today. And they get to the little Romans, the Aztecs, the Egyptians, all that. All these cultures, a lot of them didn't even know each other. And they all had the same explanation of these so-called gods, which they're called the Anunnaki, i.e. the fallen angels, right? And the Bible talks about this, the book of Enoch talks about this, and many other texts talk about the same thing. And so they taught mankind certain things. And today's world, right, when we bring up the alien stuff, right, and the alien technology, you think here that this touchscreen technology on a phone, you think any of that is off the creation of a man or out of an imagination? No, not at all. And really think about this. I lived through this, right? Really stop and think about this. The explosion of technology. To us, we don't really see it because it moves so fast. So I grew up I was born in 1974. Obviously grew up in the 80s, going to high school and all that through the 90s, right? And back in the 90s, if somebody would have come to you back in the 1990s, hey, oh, I got a phone that takes video, HD video, goes on the internet, not only takes pictures, but does everything in the world. They've got apps to do this and the other thing, right? Probably an app to even go to the bathroom. Who knows, you know? Somebody would have told you that, and right here on my phone, right, I got my cameras in my house. I got apps on my phone. I got sets of cameras on my house. I could click that button and boom, see my house. And go, right here, the front yard, right? Lifetime. I could do that, right? So if somebody was to come to you and, the social medias, I mean, look at all the apps we got, right? Really contemplate that for a minute, all right? And even though most of you are probably watching on your device now, it's like, you think a human being come up with something like this? No. This is fallen angel technology. It's not if it is, or it is, plain and simple. And the thing is, too, this is iPhone 17, 16. All right. Get confused, yeah. So, it's a 16. The 17's out now. So, using this comparison, even the newest one right now, the 17, is nothing compared to what they got. It's handed down, old, regurgitated technology compared to what they have. So, if you get to the alien stuff with the government and everything else, that forever, they've been exchanging technology for humans. And remember the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind, where the government would give them human beings in exchange for technology and warfare and everything else. And it's nothing different. People are like, oh, that's stupid. That's sci-fi. No. If you read the ancient cultures, they did the same thing. They did certain rituals that these beings would take humans, sacrifice them, and all whatever they do to them, right? And in exchange for technology. These ancient cities weren't built just by the backs of regular people. They were built by these Nephilim beings, which were the children of the fallen angels and the fallen angels. And the technology and all that is like even more sophisticated than today. If you look at a pyramid, a common pyramid in Egypt, you couldn't build nothing like that today. There's not a construction company in the world. They were like, oh, we got all the new technology and all that. Give me a break. There's no construction company in the world that could replicate the Pyramid of Giza. None at all. With the precision, our heavy equipment couldn't even move those stones. So how the heck they're going to stack those stones perfect, symmetrical? Not even a piece of paper can fit through them. You can't do that today with this technology. Because before the flood, we had huge technology in. God hit the reset button. You know what I mean? And where do you think Nikola Tesla and people like him got the ideas from? And didn't come out storming out of their heads. Free and renewable energy. That was ancient stuff. Like the Bible says, there's nothing new under the sun. And all the technology we have is from these fallen angels. And yeah, granted, some of it could be used for good, which we love to do this. All this stuff, yeah. We use the enemy's weapon against them. That's what we're doing right now. And it's great to do that. You know what I mean? I love nothing better than to use the enemy's weapons against them. You know what I mean? When I create these little things here, too, this AI thing, check out this intro I made, right?
CN, Portals and Stargates, Fallen Angel Ancient Technology on Spiritual Warfare Friday live 9 p.m. with Dan Bidondi and Gillyan Stone.
So I made that off Grok, you know what I mean? And me, John Pounders, and Brian, we use Grok a lot to make intros and all that stuff. And it's good because we love using the enemy's weapons against them. You know, it's great. Yeah, it really is. So, it's pretty cool. So anyway, I like that intro. Good stuff, man. So when you really look at the stuff, you see all the common denominators. You go through history, and it's amazing how accurate it is. And in today's world, you talk to a lot of people who worked on government bases that had view or communications with these things. They say the same thing. We exchange people and things for technology. What I think all these kids go missing all the time. The government takes half these kids. They're using real satanic rituals and all kinds of rituals with these beings, which are fallen angels and all that. Yeah, we could get some real dark, grotesque stuff, what they do to children. But all the technology comes from that. You know what I mean? And again, do mankind invent things? Yeah, absolutely. But the stuff to this magnification, and if you look at the microchips, right? The microchips, let me see if I can pull this video up. Because you gotta really see this to understand what I'm talking about. That even the steadiest human hand could never do this. Let's see, video. Zooming in on the microchip. All right. So check this video out here and just really, really contemplate this. Zooming into a microchip. So there's a microchip, right? And this microchip is maybe that small in your hand. Hope this is the right video I'm looking for. But they zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. Yep, right about here. Now, this is a microscope. That microchip alone, I mean, I got steady hands, but I couldn't even get onto that, to the side of those things. Now, when you look at it, you think this is an aerial view of a city, right? Farmland and everything else. Like, look at the buildings, right? No, it's a microchip. Every one of those circuits right there, microscopic. If right now, if you seen an ant walk across the screen, the ant would be massive. And you know how small an ant is, right? And this is like your realization when you know, how could a man do this? Not even a person with Ethiopian fingers could do this thing. 6 microns. You know how small 6 microns is? And it goes more like deep into it. 1 micron. Nanometers. And it goes more. Look at each square represents 20 nano. Let me see if I can find the other one too. All right, stop right there for a minute. So see right this? This is a hair. A human hair from your head, right? And want to put this into perspective. You know how thin a human hair is, right? Now watch this. This is just amazing.
Would be like peering into layer after layer of one of Apple's microchips under a microscope. Although this image video is digitally enhanced and many microscope stills are stitched together, it successfully portrays the scale of human achievement, continuing to make smaller and smaller computer processors.
Just really look at that. Would you just look at that?
This is a close-up look at what it would be like.
So, human advancement, yeah. If you really think a human could actually do that, seriously for a minute, think about that. And this is the technology being used to forge a new world order. The technology being used to push this AI and all this other stuff. They'll come in mark of the beast, the physical part of it, and all that during the tribulation. You know what I mean? And so why do you think that, the alien disclosure is coming out now? Not a coincidence. We talked about this several weeks now, right? The alien disclosure. And, of course, the so-called experts denying that the aliens have anything to do with demons, which they do, right? The Bible talked about this. We've been doing shows for, I don't know, since 2007 on radio. Then we end up coming on video and all that stuff. AM stations, FM stations, whatever the case. So, yeah. And we've been talking about this. Exposed us. Like, even before AI came out, we talked about that. Artificial intelligence. And so we understood, when I say we, at the time it was my uncle and a bunch of us who were researchers that got together to put on a broadcast, you know what I mean? So when we did this research with the Bible and all that stuff, we understood what was going on. And plus me being a tech geek, whatever the case, I loved technology, you know what I mean? And so I understood it. I took a big interest in it. I understood it very well, you know what I mean? And that was a key element to help me understand, plus, of course, the Holy Spirit, to help me understand this technological control grid, you know what I mean? Everything about the angels, and I've encountered these things, like what people call aliens or whatever the case. I've encountered demons. I had a wacky spiritual warfare life, literally. So when you put all this together, guys, this is...
Peering in...
Yeah, and you got CERN now, which is all tied to CERN, because CERN is, again, when the Bible talks about great opening the abyss, things like that, Revelations chapter 9, Revelation chapter 5, things like that. These prophecies that talk about the abyss opening up, 200 million man army coming out, which is not China, Russia, no. It's spiritual beings. These are spiritual beings as an army, you know what I mean? Fallen angels coming out of certain portals and the abyss and all that stuff. This is technology, guys. Technology opens these things up. So the fallen angels that are here and these spiritual beings, they're the ones who control the whole world. So when you got some of the prime ministers and presidents, whatever, the world elite, right? They are not at the top of the totem pole. These spiritual beings are. Now, under them, in the pyramid structure, right? Most of the people who serve this pyramid structure have no clue what's at the top. They really, truly believe in their hearts and their minds they're doing a good thing for humanity, right? They're victims. So as you go up the totem pole and to the elite status of this pyramid structure, you start learning now it's, because they get told it's just a political thing, whatever. You start learning it's a spiritual thing. Then when you get up to the top, even way above prime ministers and presidents, the people who pull the strings, the marionettes, right? That pull the strings of the world leaders. These high priests, they have a personal communication between them and the fallen ones. They speak to them, they channel them and all this stuff, and they relay it right down the chain of command. And it gets filtered, though. So the people down at these lower levels have no clue where this information came from at all. They're not even told anything about that. They're just minions. That's all. They really, and again, they train regular people to say, hey, you want to do something great for humanity? You want to help mankind achieve the next stage of evolution, things like that? And people are like, yeah, it'd be great to take part of history, right? They don't know any better. They get involved with the stuff and they really think they're doing something good, but the people who are channeling down the information has come from demonic beings. You know what I mean? So this CERN thing coming along with portals and all that stuff. Portals have been used for eons. That's how the same fallen angels were able to go from culture to culture all over the world. And it's not a coincidence, right? They have these structures, these big structures, like a ziggurat. A ziggurat's basically a pyramid. You have them in the Mayan countries and all that stuff, and they would have sacrifices on top of these pyramids. Human sacrifices for these gods that would invite them into here to change for technology and all this other stuff. And they would come through portals. Because again, the fallen angels and these things, they don't have godlike powers. They can't disappear and appear over here like magic. You know what I mean? They're not God. So they use their vast knowledge, technology, to do these things. You know what I mean? And a lot of it, yes, is spiritual as well, but most of it's technology. You know what I mean? So they have to come into this realm through technology. Or through a human, a carcass or something to possess into this world, you know what I mean? And the Bible talks all about this and everything else too. We covered this a million times. So these portals were opened up on these, Stargates. And that's why, let me go back to here for a minute. I like to illustrate what I'm talking about. It's just amazing, it really is. And and before somebody says, oh, it's all AI or Photoshop, we've been covering this stuff long before that stuff was around. And where do you think the movies come from? The movies don't get this idea from Steven Spielberg and George Lucas. Where do you think they get their ideas from? Real stuff. So, yeah, some of these pictures are from movies and all that stuff, but a lot of these are real portals that have been found in ancient cultures. And look at this one here. So, this one here with an Egyptian Stargate, they called it, and this was the symmetrics of it, right? They would have four of these phallic symbols, and they would draw kinetic energy in the air. And it would be used to power the intricacy of this Stargate system. That only the fallen angels would have the codes for it to unlock it. And it's weird, I don't even know how to explain it, but I understand it, you know. So during these rituals, they would have all the high priests of the land and all this the elite of that land up there doing sacrifices to welcome in these gods. Now, and it's not a coincidence, I mean, that all the ancient cultures had the same descriptions for the three key people. There was more, of course, but in that ancient Aztec, the Mayans, the Chinese, the Greeks, the Romans from China and all that, these ancient fallen angels traveled to these different places. And it's, again, not a coincidence. Same descriptions of these things. through these type of portals. And they're found everywhere, guys. The government finds these things. They whatever they do to them, they bury them. Whatever the case, they shut them down. And I'm not saying they're active anymore because I think it takes a certain 50. Let me try this website here. So, me and Brian's done a lot of shows on these. All right, you gotta click 1,000 links to get to. I hate that. So yeah, you got the idea. And these were actually ancient portals discovered. Look at this one for a minute, right? Take a good gander at that. Sound like Kentuckian accent here. Take a good gander at that. So these are real archaeologists that discovered these things. Is this kind of coincidental? Let me get to... Look at these things. This is from CERN, the technology today. Imagine a magnetic field this creates when it's fired up. It disrupts a lot of stuff. So look at this, right, compared to these ancient ones. You would think this is a bunch of circuitry and everything else. Yeah. These symbols, certain geometric shapes and everything else. Yeah. To open these portals and all that. So look at that, the comparison to these things. Nothing new under the sun. And yes, fallen angels and beings like that did travel through these things. And why do you think they try to do this with CERN? It's not to smash atoms together or create dark matter. No, this is to open portals. That's what it's for. And here's the thing too. When they create these things, there's like a symbol, for example. Perfect example, right? A symbol. It conceals to those who can't see, reveals to those who can see. Now, even the people who can see it, right? There's a bunch of meanings for the symbol, right? But there's only one or two true meanings to the symbol. So the people who are not oblivious, that can see these things, they're even withheld, okay, from certain things. So we'll use this for example, right? CERN. They tell the general public we want to smash atoms together, create the Big Bang Theory. Now they want to capture dark matter and all that, right? But the people inside know darn well has nothing to do with any of that stuff. Now the people inside have different views of that, right? But there's only a handful of people at the top that know the real intent of what this thing's for. And again, these things will have other purposes. To snow the public, to get the funding coming in and all this other stuff, right? But the true dark intent of these things is evil. They want to open these portals up to bring back into these, Nephilim and all this stuff, because when Jesus said in the tribulation, right, that things coming out of the earth are going to make men's hearts fail them. You understand what that means? And it's not, these Bible scholars are stupid. Then these academics and these churches and all that don't know nothing. Oh, this Revelation stuff, it's only poetry. It's only poetic. It's only figuratively. It's not really going to happen like that. It's just figuratively speaking. Really? You certainly don't know the Bible then, because these are literal things that could happen. When it talks about the abyss, that 200 spiritual-like creatures coming out of the abyss to go kill 1/3 of the earth's people that are not mocked by God, that's exactly what's going to happen. When it talks about, like literally portals opening up, the abyss and all that, this is what this is. These things are being made, structurally made for this end times. That's it. Look at that. Look at that right in your face. Where do you think that came from? Where do you think that came from? Not a coincidence. Back then, they were able to do that with stone because the angels had the technology to do that. They didn't need wires and circuitry and all that stuff. They had a different way of technology. Today, we need the wires and circuitry. The whole system is designed to bring in the end times. And again, Jesus says in Matthew 24, right? The things coming up, I think it's 24. Yeah, the things coming up out of the earth are going to make men's hearts fail them. For the things that are coming out of the earth. You know what I mean? And so the Bible gets very much into detail about these things. But again, if you go to a regular Sunday church on the corner there, you're not going to learn this. You're not even going to hear about it. If you go to some Bible academy, you're not going to hear about it. If you go to some seminary, you're not going to hear about it. If you go to a college or university, right, you're certainly not going to hear about it. And if you do get here, you know, they even touch it, they're going to say it's just metaphorically, figuratively, it's only poetic. To water it down, because the thing is they can't explain it because they don't have the knowledge to explain it. And to get that knowledge, like Paul says, and I sorry to repeat myself on every broadcast, but Paul says that you need to understand the Bible with the spiritual mind. The carnal mind can't teach any of this stuff. The carnal mind will make you believe that's just nothing but a hadron collider. That's all it is. The spiritual mind shows right through it. I don't know if you watch the movie. I don't even know how many examples I need to use. So I even have my glasses here. But yeah, the movie They Live, right? He had to put these special glasses on to see reality. And the other example I could use, remember the old 3D glasses? The right was red and the left was blue. You go to the movies and it's like a 3D. So you're born with that. And all you see is red or blue. Right, and you take those glasses off, and you see a whole new spectrum of colors and different things. Imagine just being born with those glasses on. All your life you had those glasses on. All you see is red and blue. That's all you see. And a little combination of both. But when you take those glasses off, there's a whole broader spectrum of colors. In reality, speaking, right, if you read the Bible with the carnal mind, you study this or that, you just go about life with the carnal mind, that's all you got to see. When you open the spiritual mind, you see things more than you could ever imagine. I mean, sci-fi doesn't do no justice at all. When you learn about symbols and these kind of arcane symbolism and everything else, you see it everywhere. They stick out like a sore thumb. Like a person, right? You go down the road, everybody's got those roads in your town, right? It's a road that has every shopping mall there is, like stores and gas stations, and it's a commercial zone, right? So you drive down the road and you see this and that and all that, right? You've seen it going down. How many times you been there? When you take those blinders off, right, and you see it with your spiritual mind, you see it for the first time ever in your life, and you're just blown away. That stuff is right in your face this whole time, and you never know it. Because you've had the whole understanding of everything with the carnal mind. When you see it with the spiritual mind, it's a whole new ball game. It really is. And so this is why I could, people in the academic world probably laughing at me right now. People in mainstream churches will be laughing, oh, this ain't biblical. This ain't this or that. Well, no, it's not biblical to you because you don't know the Bible. The people who do know the Bible, the ones who who do have the eyes to see and the ears to hear, know exactly what I'm talking about and see exactly what I say. And again, you don't make the stuff up. This is not out of somebody's imagination. And so these things will be used in the end times again. When these things come to the earth, they will be used in the end times again. Plain and simple. So, I thought it was Matthew. My bad. So it's Luke chapter 21, verse 26. Men's hearts failing them for fear and looking after the things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. This is during the tribulation. You're going to, and Jesus makes another clue too. And he says, as the days of Noah, so shall it be like in a lot of days. And see, the thing is, a lot of churches, they don't even know what the days of Noah are like. Most people don't. This is why we teach it on this broadcast. The days of Noah, you have no idea, because people have this mindset, because of the schools and everything, that back in those thousands of years, we were just primitive people living in caves, running around with animal fur all over us and hitting people over the head with clubs and things like that, right? No, not even close. The vast knowledge of technology these people had back then, And, because evolution, the stupidity you call it evolution, right? It's meant to retard us, if you ask me. I think, the definition of retardness or being, is evolution. So they want you to believe that we're bigger, stronger, faster, smarter than we ever were. We are not anywhere close to the people as of the days of Noah. Before the flood, people were bigger, stronger, faster, more smarter than we could ever be today. The structures they built, we couldn't even build anything at all, even after the flood. We couldn't build anything like that today. People say, oh, he built these skyscrapers and all this other stuff. Yeah, what did he do? There's not a construction company in the world that could build anything like those pyramids, anything like those ancient structures at all. In 10 years, they'll be all falling apart. This building I'm in, right? This building goes back to, I think, the 1800s, whatever. Probably earlier than that. It's made out of brick and all that. So it used to be an old factory building and everything. I guess the guy who bought the building made it into offices and whatnot. So if nobody touched it, like maybe 20 years from now, this building will be falling apart. Those ancient structures have been around for thousands of years. Some of them they're still discovering. You go out to the Amazons and different remote parts of the world, they're coming across temples that nobody's even touched for thousands of years. And they're perfectly intact. So you mean to tell me we're bigger, stronger? Yeah, you got another thing coming. But as you know and notice, right, things are starting to move that direction. People are able to live longer now. People are able to be a little smarter now. Structures are starting to get that way now. You know what I mean? And if you put the work into it, because as the days of Noah, so shall be in a lot of times. Technology will boost them. God, the Lord said the technology will double. And look, how prophetic is that? How prophetic is that? The technology would double. Nintendo, right? Remember the old Nintendo system, right? The 2-bit system. The NES, right? The next one came out was a 4. Then the next one is an 8-bit. Then a 16-bit. Then a 32-bit. Then a 64-bit. And a 128-bit. And so on. It doubles. Not a coincidence. Same with the phones, right? The next model up is double better than this one. Technology will increase and double. And you're seeing that all the time. You know what I mean? And so everything we discussed tonight is all to do with this stuff. And so in 2030, here's the other thing too. They said they're going to reopen it. Let me get the actual information here first. I just hate saying something that's not true. CERN to be... All right, so let's bring this back up here. So I'm going to tell you the significance of this. The Large Hadron Collider, CERN, was shut down on June 29th, 2026 for a major 4-year upgrade that is scheduled to reopen in 2030. So an upgrade, so basically the upgrade is like what they have now. The technology is going to far surpass when 2030 this thing's open. Well, what is now is going to be old news, okay? It's going to be thrown out in the trash or whatever, if you want to put it that way. Everything's going to be completely upgraded, quadrupling, whatever, doubling that technology we have already, right? So what do you think they choose 2030 for? It's not a coincidence, right? The United Nations has Agenda 2030. A lot of these liberal states, they have all these certain agendas and missions by 2030. So their goal is to push the New World Order. And again, we have to understand there's also a thing called the God factor. I'm not predicting nothing and all that, but they do these things. They always do these things particularly to try to undermine God, and they know it's God's timing. But they'll push things and say, we're going to do it this and that and all that. They planned it for 2000, failed and all that stuff, 2014, whatever the case. But their goal now is the agenda for, first was supposed to be 2000. The agenda for the Agenda 21. It failed, obviously, 26 years later. And so now their next goal is 2030. So they want all this technology, everything up. And again, the United Nations Agenda 2030, diversity programs and all this other stuff, the World Health Organization, World Economic Forum, they're all gearing up for one big thing, one big push for 2030, for the New World Order. But again, not to be alarmed, because we have to count in the God factor. Doesn't matter what they push or how much money you have, it's up to God. We understand it's God's timing. But what they're going to push, and when they do get the time, it's called, in the Bible, it's called the tribulation. And yes, you will be here for that if you're alive. You're not going to be, there's no pre-magic Monty McFly showing up in his rapture school bus. You know what I mean? You're going to be here for that. The Bible makes it very clear. Those who endure to the end shall be saved, Matthew 24. And Jesus says he sounds the trumpets, the angels do, to gather his elect immediately after the tribulation. But mysteriously, the churches never read that part. They don't read that point, but they'll say, oh yeah, the angels sound the trumpets, the rapture, right? But they don't read the verses before that. It says immediately after the tribulation. You know what I mean? So this is their gearing up for the tribulation coming up. Not a coincidence that AI is being manufactured now rapidly, integrating with work programs now, and my job too, and everything else I work at, they're integrating AI with certain things. A lot of companies are going that way, right? They're integrating biometrics in a lot of places now, and this whole technology grid. Here's the thing too: who uses cash anymore? Six Flags New England. We went to Six Flags, and you can't even use a penny in the cash. It's all cashless. Everywhere you go now, I mean, you can't use cash, just about. They're pushing this digital cashless society. Digital everything, you know what I mean? And so everything's going the digital route. And incorporating AI and all that stuff, and all the biometrics and all that. So and I got to emphasize too, the mark of the beast, okay? It's not something you go to CVS and go, hey, give me my vaccine, pink, and you're done. That's not the mark of the beast. You know what I mean? The mark of the beast is a very intricate system. The Bible makes it very clear. It's a spiritual mark for us. You have to take allegiance to the beast. Then and only then you get the physical mark, which is a biometrics data chip. And it's not even up for discussion or debate. All right, and I can tell you 100% infirmity. I know exactly what's going on. It wasn't the COVID shot. I hate when people say that because it wasn't, not even close. It failed in the courts. You know what I mean? The mark of the beast doesn't fail. You know what I mean? And also, don't let anybody fool you at all. Don't anybody fool you. The Bible says it comes when the Antichrist is here. It's his mark. So there's going to be no mark of the beast until that when and only when the Antichrist is in power. And that makes it very clear. And the other thing, too, I have to emphasize, too, in this program, because I've got a lot of people accusing this one and that one for being the Antichrist. The Bible makes it very clear you don't know who the Antichrist is. And you're not going to know. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 says the man of sin will be revealed after the restrainers are lifted. That's Michael the Archangel. He restrains Satan. When he's lifted, this is the start of the tribulation. Then and only then will you know who the man of perdition is. Not before. Then and only then will the mark of the beast come. It's his mark. Not Dr. Fauci or whatever the case, right? And we have to be specific by the Bible. And nobody knows the day or the hour when Jesus Christ returns. Not even the angels in heaven do. So we need to go back to the Bible, back to the basics, because even the best of us, you know what I mean? I was guilty of that a lot. I thought this one and that one was the Antichrist, or this with that, with the mark of the beast. We don't know until these things happen according to the Bible. You know what I mean? And there's stuff going on. The Bible's talked about this, guys. The fallen angels teaching us these things and also other stuff, and the technology and the explosion. And again, when you read the Bible, how do you validate the Bible? Open up history books. Open up research of different cultures. It's not a coincidence. All the ancient cultures talk about the flood. Can't escape that. They all talk about the giants. Can't escape that. They all talk about the fallen angels, but they think they were gods. Can't escape that. Even some bright academics try to do that, but they can't. They get owned real quick. They all talk about the angels, teaching them technology and things like that to build cities and everything else. They all have portals at their sacred locations where they did sacrifice, mass human sacrifices too. Yeah. Not a coincidence. So I just hope, the people out there skeptics of the Bible to make you realize, hey, listen, this is some serious stuff, okay? We are in those times right now. And I'm not saying we're in a tribulation. I truly feel, and it's my opinion, I truly feel in my spiritual God that we are really at the doorstep. And how do we know? Jesus laid out several prophecies, many prophecies. And no, they didn't happen 2,000 years ago. You know what I mean? These prophecies just recently started unfolding over the last century. Big key prophecies that lead to this time. And I really believe that we're at the doorstep. From the technology, all the stuff going on, these aliens. The Bible calls it the Great Deception, and we covered this a million times. Revelation 16. So I really believe, according to the Bible, according to history, what's going on, we're very close. And so what I'm trying to say is that we could all debate when and where, we don't know. But the thing is, we're seeing the signs now. As the days of Noah, so shall it be at a lot of times. Here we are. Boom. The technology from all this disclosure going on, all the stuff that's linking up, all at the same time. Technology boom, the aliens, certain things being revealed, the world's order, New World Order trying to push the NWO by 2030. And it's not a coincidence it's going to be opened up in 2030. Yeah, it's like, yeah. You got all the documents, all the, it's crazy. All the history. Book of Enoch, the Bible, many ancient cultures, like I said, and other religious texts. Not that I go by most of them, but yeah, for historical purposes. The Bible's warned us about this, over and over again. And it's right there. The fingerprints are right there. They've been there. And people like myself have encounters with these things, unfortunately. So we're right there on the doorstep. So we're going to take some phone calls, guys. And it's been a few weeks. And hold on, let me plug in my phone before you guys start calling. Oh, yeah, Ezekiel 38. Yeah, Ezekiel's wheel, they call it. It's just amazing stuff, really is, and it's just like I don't know how people could deny it, and you won't hear this in the churches at all. And if you go to church, go challenge the pastors on Sunday. Oh, that's just figuratively. That's what they'll tell you to make you feel better. That's what it is, to make you feel comforted and all that stuff. And the thing is, even knowing the truth, you should not be discomforted. Jesus says that. You know what I mean? Don't be despair, but be of good cheer, because this means the coming of Jesus Christ. So you should be welcoming this. Don't be fear. God he's not a spirit of fear, doesn't like fear, doesn't like cowards. You should be embracing this time and era. You know what I mean? And I am. Yeah, exactly. True, a glass darkly. Satan is a counterfeit. And if you guys got any questions and you don't want to call, just put it in capital letters, and I'll try to get to them. So just waiting for the first call. And it's 512-547-1776. And the other thing too, guys, if you call, like really pay attention if you call and it gets denied, don't call back. I'll call you back in turn, because obviously somebody's on the phone. I got your number on caller ID. So, and if you do call with a caller ID blocker, just put *67 first and call. What's up, brother Tim? Woo!
Woo!
What's up, my bro?
Dang good. So, dang good show tonight, bro.
Oh, thank you, man.
Hey, this rapture thing. Now, I've heard both sides.
Mm-hmm.
You tell me, see all these things look up. Denson draws nigh, and we're looking forward to our blessed hope. There's also a verse talking about his appearing and at his coming. And if he's coming like a thief in the night, well, when all the time and space opens up and you see him coming, like, that's not going to be, well, the timing might be like a thief, but I guess my question on all that would be, we're supposed to be looking up and be expecting him to come get us. And I know we're not appointed unto wrath. And before he comes for the final time, he's going to pour out his wrath. So we got to get out here somewhere sometime before the end, right?
Well, it says the people get wrath of those who are not marked by God, and those with the mark of the beast. You know what I mean? So they'll know off the bat. Remember the angels when they passed over Egypt, and anybody who marked their doorposts with the blood they passed over the house to pass over.
Right.
So the angels knew who was and wasn't. So in this time, these people that serve evil, they'll be marked with the mark of the beast, and that's the wrath's going to come upon them.
Okay. So when if we're around when all the rivers are turned to blood, I mean, that
Yep.
still means there won't be no water for us to drink either if we're alive. So,
Yeah.
well, I was always taught that during the pouring out of the wrath and tribulation, we're up there at the marriage supper of the Lamb.
Well, yeah, they taught us that in the dispensational churches. So what they'll do is like twist scripture around, and because the dispensationalism, and they'll frog hop in the Bible. You know what I mean? And like we talked about that, because they signify the raptures when the angels sound the trumpets, and he gathers elect from four winds of the earth to the other. But they never read, and then they'll go to Jacob's trouble. They'll go here, there, right? But they'll never read the verse or two before, where it says immediately after the tribulation. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's how they snow. Because for years I believed in that too. You know what I mean? And here's the thing too. I don't think any one of us could say that we would not love that to happen. You know what I mean? Of course, every one of us would love to be taken out of here before the tribulation. You know what I mean? I don't think anybody's going to say they wouldn't, you know. But unfortunately, Jesus does tell us we need to endure to the end to be saved. And I think 3 or 4 times he tells us in Matthew 24 that, you know, nobody knows the day or the hour, you know. And
yeah. Good.
Yeah,
the owner of the house knew when the thief was coming. He would have been standing watch and ready. It tells us to stand watch and be ready, always looking.
Yep. That's what we keep saying too. Watch. And
that's what we're doing. So we see all the signs and everything coming, and like, I told my old pastor, anybody in a typical church, they don't have a clue where we're at and what's going on, really.
Yeah.
They're not discerning the times at all.
Nope.
And it's like, do you read? Do you see what's going on? They're building the beast system right in front of you.
Yep.
But, you know.
And that's why I tell people, like, if they don't agree with my, what we believe here, I tell them, so here's the thing, too. You know what I mean? If people want to believe the pre-tribulation rapture, they don't. But the thing is, I tell them, when you are here, don't be discouraged by it. You know what I mean? Don't think you've been left behind, because that's what the movies say, you know. And the thing is, too, we all wish to God, okay, that there was a pre-tribulation rapture. I don't think anybody's going to argue with that. But, you know, again, we know what the Bible says. And again, if you're here and you think you've been left behind, don't be discouraged, because it means you just got your theology wrong. You know what I mean? So.
Right. And I know there's a voice that says, a verse, not a voice, a verse that says it's going to be the lost who are taken out, bound up, and thrown in the fire. So we're staying here to inherit the earth, and they're being taken up and dealt with at that time, right?
Mm-hmm. So let me actually read it right here. So if we go to somebody's asking in the chat room too, so we answer all your questions at once. So Matthew 24, verse 29 says, immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, the moon will not give its light, and the stars will fall from heaven, and the powers of the heaven shall be shaken. And this is a literal event that's going to happen. Then shall appear the Son of Man in heaven. Then shall the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with great power and glory. And then he sends his angels with the great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather his elect from the four winds and from one end of heaven to the other. Then it goes into the parable of the fig tree. So a lot of churches, they'll show this here about Jesus appearing, right? Verse 30 and 31. But they'll never show 29. So they'll jump all over the Bible, go here, right? And verse 30, completely skipping 29. And now read it in context. It says immediately after the tribulation. And it says he gathers his elect after. You know what I mean? So, again, churches won't read the whole context, you know. And I fell for that, too. And when I read it for myself, I'm like, whoa, what about verse 29? Oh, that's something different. You know, it's not. You know what I mean? It's like right there, clear as day. Then he says several times in this chapter, several times, nobody knows the day of Yahweh. And he goes into the parable of the fig tree and all the parables explaining, like we said, a master, you don't know when the master returns and all that. And somehow, some way, every time there's an eclipse or some garbage going on, somebody had a dream or some kid had a dream or some person got visited by the Spirit to tell them when Jesus is coming. You know what I mean? And, of course, the dates come and go, nothing happens.
Yeah, Jesus doesn't even know when he's coming.
Yeah, exactly.
Tells him he does.
And that's why I tell these people, it's like Jesus and the angels don't know. What makes you think you're going to know?
Right. And I saw there was someone confused that's talking about, the verse that says when the Antichrist reveals himself in the temple of God, those who be in Judea flee into the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it might be a good idea for us to get out of the cities, but someone was saying, "Oh yeah, we got to run to the mountains." And they're like, "No, that's for the people who are over there."
Yeah.
In Judea at the time.
Because Syria gets wiped
might be a bad
out.
idea. Yeah, you might want to get out the cities and find you a place, but that is not for us over here in America.
Yeah.
So, that's
exactly, because you're right. It says Judea. You know what I mean? And it's crazy, man. And then they'll when you talk about the last trump, right? The last trumpet, it's the angel blowing a trumpet. Remember, Trump got shot or something like that, and they started trying to say, "Oh, that's the prophecy coming true." Linking him to the Antichrist and other people who actually worship him, saying he's the last trumpet the Bible predicted. It's like, no, there's no last trumpet. You know what I mean? The trumpets talk about the judgments and the coming of the... it has nothing to do with a person, It's like... So they twist scripture out of context, man.
Yeah, I'm talking about the trumpet judgment.
Yeah. Not a president.
You got what? You got the bowls and the vials and the trumpets. I don't know if it's that order, but...
Yeah. Well, there's several trumpets that get blown. I mean, you got the angel that blows the trumpet, and then we're caught up, and then there's other trumpets that happen, like the trumpet judgments and the bowl judgments and all that. So there's several trumpets that go on, and so yeah, right there in 2 Thessalonians 2, it says right there, so now beseech you, brethren, for by the coming of our Lord Savior Jesus Christ and the gathering together unto him. So this is talk about the gathering together. This is what they, again, we just talked about that in Matthew 24. Before we gathered with Jesus, when the angel sounds the trumpet, we gathered together. It says, not to be shaken in mind or troubled, neither by spirit nor by word, nor by letter from us or the day of Christ is at hand. It says right here, let no man deceive you by any means. For this day talking about, right, the coming of Jesus, when we gather together with him, before this happens, there has to be a falling away from the faith for us. Then the man of sin to be revealed. So the church will tell you Jesus comes for us. We don't see the Antichrist, but the Bible's telling us the other way around. The man of sin has to be revealed first, and he opposes and exalts himself. All that is called God and is worshipped. That he is God, sits in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. And it talks about the restraint getting lifted, right, and all that. So these things have to happen first before Jesus comes and redeems us. You know what I mean? So we will see the Antichrist for our life.
Yeah, and I know there's some people around me that's so scared about biometrics and all that stuff, and it's like, well, you can go so far in the technology, but it's the Antichrist himself who causes everyone to get the mark.
Yep.
The right hand or forehead. They're getting everybody used to the idea, because then back in COVID and still today, they still take your temperature through your forehead. You got Elon's Neuralink. It'll probably be Neuralink and a chip in the hand. But if all that happens before Antichrist is revealed, the Antichrist will have something different or a prefix added to that or something. What do you think?
Yeah, it's crazy, man. And it's amazing how people just take they mix it with religious dogma, and then what that church says, and people say, well, I heard this. I say, well, no, the Bible didn't tell you that. Your pastor told you that. It's a big difference from your pastor saying and what the Bible actually says. And that's why I know you're the same way, too. We don't follow religion or denominations. We follow Jesus,
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's like they always said, well, Well, like dude told me, your doctrine's all wrong. And, well, any other doctrine besides what God himself says,
Mm-hmm.
He says let it be a curse, whether it's Catholic, Baptist, Presbyterian, whatever. Yep. They got their own doctrine, and they follow what men like John Calvin and everybody else, all the forefathers said. But anyway, yeah, maybe I'm just rambling on here. And I always go back to you're not interpreting it right.
Yeah.
The interpretation is wrong. Well, it's not in a different language. You don't need an interpretation.
Yeah.
He tells you, he says exactly what he means.
Yeah. Word for word and each step in order.
And like when the powers are shaking, that's Satan's powers up there. When the stars fall, that's probably them. It's not like all these planets are going to crash into Earth either.
Yeah, and it's unreal, man. And yeah, and right there too, I like that. Verse 3: "Let no man deceive you by any means."
Yep, for that day shall not come.
Yep, except they be fallen away. And we're seeing the Great Awakening happen right now. And right after the Great Awakening, sometime comes the falling away. So, yeah, that's why I believe we're right on the doorstep.
Right, I think, yeah, because I think into the 18, coming into the 1900s with the Industrial Revolution, I believe the beginning of the sorrow started then. Because if you go to any government site talking about the earthquakes, hurricanes, storms, they're ever increasing. I remember when a hurricane would maybe be 25 to 50 miles wide. Now they're as big as whole states. And you never heard of hurricanes making it to the mountains, much less going through 3 or 4 different states.
Yeah.
I mean, their eyes just aren't opening. And the old preacher, he's like, no, it's not getting any. No, none of that. But, you know how they say, we've always had these storms and all like this. No, we haven't. They are increasing in intensity and in number. But anyway.
Yep.
But anyway, I just want to say great show, and loved everybody in the chat. Love you too, bro. I'll let
Love you too, brother.
Get on here and yap. All right, have a great Sabbath and week ahead, everybody.
And have a great woo.
Woo! All right, brother.
Later, brother. And before you get to the next caller, who said that? Somebody had a dream that was the president. That's funny. Oh, official Ghostwriter TV. It's funny. Yeah, I dream I was the president. That'd be awesome. So, Dank Daddy asked, Dan, why is a goat associated with the devil? Because it's the opposite of the lamb. You're on the air. What's your name?
Lorna from Australia.
Hey, what's up, sister?
Not a lot. I've been pretty sick, but I've been listening. I haven't been commenting much, but yeah, great show as always, Dan.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, love listening to you.
I appreciate
You're
you.
one of my, believe me, there's not too many godly people out there. You're one of them.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Yeah. When it comes to like what Hector's horse, he's one of my friends. I really enjoy TX horse. What he was saying about rivers turning to blood and everything, even for us in the tribulation, that doesn't worry me because I always think of Elijah, and God provided for him, like during the times when no rain fell and that. Remember, he provided the crows fed and, or ravens fed and watered Elijah, and then the widow. So I reckon during the tribulation, like God's going to provide for us.
Oh yeah, no, I believe that too. You know, it'll be tough for us and everything, but God will help His people. Yeah, I mean, and especially for missions for us to do things.
I reckon that when the wicked people turn on the water, it'll be blood, but if we turn it on, it'll probably be water.
Yeah. Well, I believe that because look what they did in, you know, when the Jews were going in the Exodus. You know what I mean, God provided the water and everything, and I believe that too. Like, even though the water will be blood for these people, and I believe that God will purify it for us.
Yeah. And also, and see, I believe that we're definitely going to go through the tribulation, of course. I don't believe the pre-trib shit, sorry. There's no such thing as it. In fact, I was rared not to believe in it.
Yeah.
I was one of the lucky ones that parents didn't believe in it.
Yep.
So, I was actually read a Seventh-day Adventist, and Seventh-day Adventists don't believe in pre-trib rapture.
And even though it's going to be hard, if you really think about it, right? If it'll be hard and everything because we're going to have to endure through it. But imagine being like just a handful of people compared to history, right? That if we see worldwide, we see Jesus coming through the clouds, we're not going to experience death.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Well, no, Seventh-day Adventists have a great deal of truth, believe it or not.
Yep.
But it's the fact that, number one, I don't believe Ellen G. White is a prophet.
Yep.
And I don't believe the fact, look, my father was a monster, and I've told you that before, and I don't, my mother was the one that reared us in the Seventh-day Adventist faith. So, and when it come down to it at the end, when they sort of sided with my father, child abuser, over the top of us children, that was it for me. As soon as I could get out of there, I was out of there. And I turned away from God for quite a while, simply because of that. See what they did to little children's hearts by doing that? So I turned away. But that's what I wanted all week. I've been meaning to get on to you. God put it upon my heart to get on to you and ask if you could do a special show to do with little children. You know how Jesus said in the Bible that unless we become as little children, we can't enter the kingdom of heaven?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I was doing study during the week, and you know how everything in this world is aimed at destroying the minds of children?
Yep.
As in, you know, taking away their innocence, how they're sexualising children, they're perverting them, all cartoons are full of satanic ritual shit. Just everything is aimed at, and how these child safety stuff is all to do with telling children they're allowed to disobey parents, how parents can have their children taken off them if we don't cater to children wanting to do their own thing and all that.
Yep.
And just my little grandson said something to me. He told me he's only a little boy in grade 3, and he told me he's got furries in his classroom at school.
Huh.
And I nearly keeled over. The fact, oh my gosh, furries. You know what that is?
Yeah.
And at that age, and parents are letting their children say they're furries
Yep.
in grade 3 at Spitnook. So God, and then it hit me, the Holy Spirit. And I looked in the Bible, and how many times God says in the Bible that what will happen to people that pervert the minds of children.
Oh, yeah.
And
Millstone.
then what Jesus said about stopping the little children from coming unto him because, you know, unless we become as little children, we can't enter the kingdom of heaven. And then I realised that Satan's got a plan to pervert the minds of children, because the more children that can be perverted, no one can enter heaven, because those children are getting perverted before they can grow up to become the adult that would be Christians.
And could you see the screen still?
Yes.
Okay, so it'll show up in like 20 seconds, but I did a biblical warfare called Become as Little Children. So if you want to,
Yes.
I could put the link in the chat room too if you want. And it's my biblical warfare show. 3 months ago, I did one called Become as Little Children. I mentioned a lot of those scriptures you talked about.
And did you say in there how Satan's plan is to corrupt the children before they become adults?
A little bit, yeah. But yeah, I've been meaning to do a whole show on it, like a full show, getting into that. Yeah.
God put it on me to tell you to do a show on that.
All right. Well, guess what? I'm going to do just that.
Thank you, because that's what he, during the week, when he realised, like we do plenty of shows about becoming as little children, but
Yep.
Satan actually, the Holy Spirit showed me that he's perverting the children before they can become the adults. So he's twisting it around. You know how he turns God's things around?
I'm writing that down right now. So
Yeah. So instead of waiting for the children to turn up, grow up, he's actually perverting them before they get the chance to grow up. That's how he's perverting their minds. So he's taking their innocence before they even get that chance to grow up.
what was your first name again?
Lorna.
Lorna? Okay. Cool. Yeah, I wrote that down, so you can see my messy handwriting in a minute. But yeah, I'm gonna.
Sorry for taking up so much of your time.
Oh, no worries.
I just had to get that across to you because God put that on my heart during the week.
Well, you know, I 100% believe that.
It was specifically you that I had to get it across to.
And not if not this coming Friday, the following Friday. Either one, I'll definitely do it.
Thank you, Dan.
I'm not going to question anybody that says the Holy Spirit. And the thing is, too, that's been weighing on my heart as well. So that's why I 100% believe that. And I think God used you, which I 100% believe that God used you to say, move it along inside. He'll get the show out quicker, you know. So I think next week we'll do that. How's that sound? Next week, because I don't want to delay God's word, you know. So I really, truly believe that.
Yes. Thank you, because I was just saying that, and it was so strong. It just swept across me like that. Wow. Okay, thank you. I'll let you go now so others can have turns. Okay, God bless you.
God
Dan,
bless you too,
so
Lorna.
very much, you and your family. Okay.
Love you, sister.
Bye-bye. Love you too, Dan.
God bless.
Brother Dan,
And
I
next
love
week,
you so much.
next Friday, from 1 week from now, we're going to do exactly that broadcast.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
That's awesome because, to be honest, man, that's been weighing on my heart too. And especially with the, I hate that, the Pride Month crap. And what they were doing to children, man, I'm not biting my tongue no more. I'll tell you that right now. I don't care if somebody calls me a bigot, whatever you call me. I believe bigot is believing in God's word or what is today. That's what I say. bigot. Believe in God's orders today. So yes, I'm a bigot. You know, but yeah, she's 100% right. The children are the biggest targets, and I really believe that's a good. And I'm not going to question that at all. So next week we're going to do. I'm going to put my other stuff. I had another show or two I had planned out, but I really believe that, and I'm not going to question it. I'm going to push that stuff back, and I'm going to do that broadcast next week. And thank you, Lorna from Australia. I'm going to get. Before you get to Brother Craig. Sorry, Craig. I seen a foreign number, so I can't call back foreign numbers, so I had to take that one. So it's Brother Dink Daddy 5150 says, why is the goat associated with the devil? Well, the thing is, like, if you notice in the scriptures, right, you got the sheep and you got the goats. You know what I mean? The several Lord. It talks about the several Lord. And he'll separate the sheep from the goats. Not that saying goats are evil. You know what I mean? If you go and goats are great animals and everything, it's not saying that. But in the spiritual sense, so the goats were always representative as not God's people. You know what I mean? And the sheep were represented as God's people. So if you read about the several Lord and all that stuff, explains it. About the cattle from God and the cattle from Israel. And and they had the scapegoat thing, the ritual and all that. That's why they always dress in a horn-type deity. The goat of Mendes, which is a Baphomet. You got the Baphomet has goats of horn. You got Pan, which is a pagan, diluted version of Baphomet. It's a goat, half man, half goat. Then plus you see those rituals. So yeah, it's, again, not saying if you own a goat doesn't mean you have to kill it. Nothing, guys. It's a spiritual sense that a goat represents the devil's people. You know what I mean? And the sheep represents God's people. You know what I mean? So in a spiritual sense, you know what I mean? So that's why the goat is always associated with that, and that's why you always see a horn type deity. And that's why the devil horn things too and all that stuff. And scapegoat was sent to the wilderness on the Day of Atonement. Yep, thank you, Debbie, Sister Debbie. And so that's what it's generally associated with. So let's get to Brother Craig. Great call. Good call, Tim. Good call, Lorna. Let me type her name down.
How you doing?
Hey, Brother Craig. What's going on, man?
Oh, not too much. Just been hanging in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, talking about, the subject of CERN, there was something that they did, I think it was back in April or March. I can read it just a little bit. It said scientists at CERN successfully transported 92 antiprotons by truck in a world-first base experiment. Antimatter was suspended in a near-perfect vacuum inside a super-cooled 1,000-kilogram portable trap, avoiding annihilation upon contact with matter. This milestone enables physicists to move volatile antimatter to magnetically quiet laboratories for precision measurements. And then I got to thinking about the Hadron Collider, and I mean, I could be 100% off on this, but I think CERN is trying to attempt time travel. I really do.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that either, man.
Yeah, because they're doing too many weird things at one time, it seems like.
Yeah.
And like the speaking of like ancient technology, take the Tower of Babel, which happened I think 110 years after the flood. Some say maybe it was 300 years. But I remember the late Rob Skiba was talking about, Nimrod and what the purpose of the Tower of Babel was, that they were trying to open up portals to heaven, and that's why Nimrod was trying to, war in heaven. And so, I mean, there's been, I mean, you're right. I mean, ancient technology, they had stuff that we can't even probably fathom even today.
Yeah.
Back then. And also before the flood too. It's because, like, if you look at the pyramids, I can't really guess on when those were built. Probably around the same time frame. They probably acted like AI data centers back then. They probably had a similar use.
Oh yeah, because they had coils under it, like under the ground.
And you think you got like over 5,000 AI data centers in the U.S., and I believe worldwide there's like over 11,000. It does make you wonder if these are the new pyramids of today.
Yeah.
And
that's a good point.
What they're trying to do, like with flock AI cameras, it's to collect information on all of us. I don't care what they say. And it's good to see people, rising up against these AI data centers and flock cameras. And some people have cut down some of the flock cameras and they disappear, which is a good thing. It reminds me of the Boston Tea Party almost.
Oh yeah, it's not just this country, but other countries too. The flock cameras are coming down left and right, which is awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome. And like the I noticed something, kind of switching topics a little bit. Like the Book of Enoch.
Yep.
I've noticed in the last 2 months, I would like type in like Book of Enoch, to find some more information, or see someone's opinion on it. And I noticed a lot of, Christians, a few Christian channels were just like, I noticed that would pop up in the YouTube feed. I'd go to look at it, and they were just bashing the Book of Enoch.
Yeah.
It was very disheartening to see.
Oh, that's because the Book of Enoch gets into stuff that they don't get taught in church. So, confirms like most of the stuff we talk about, and confirms of the flat earth, confirms Jesus before long before he became, and it's amazing.
Yeah. But, you can look this up also on Google, like, what's the 2 most popular faiths that are embracing the Book of Enoch now? The Messianics and the Hebrew roots are. And that's quite a compelling thing that the Book of Enoch is starting to be embraced by a lot of people, even though there are some that are bashing it.
Yeah.
I think the Book of Enoch is becoming popular, probably the most popular book right now today.
Yeah. I'm starting to see a lot of people quote it too and everything and make videos on it.
Yeah, it's very encouraging to see. We all believe in Torah and And just in the Torah movement, it's good to see that it's getting popular.
Oh, you want to hear something funny?
Yeah.
Like this is gonna make you laugh hysterical, right? So, you know how some of these liberals are, man. It's crazy. So, Texas implement the Bible to be taught in school again, right? So, you should see people's comments like, "Oh, they claim to be all educated and everything else," and oh man, this is hilarious. Well, they were like, several people said this. So, well, if they're gonna include the Bible, then they should include the Torah too. And I'm like, you do realize that the Torah is part of the Bible, right, genius? You can't make this stuff up, man.
I mean, how? Oh man, that is just something.
And it was a bunch of people saying the same thing. Well, you should include the Torah too. It's like, the Torah is the Bible,
Yeah.
It's like hilarious.
But a positive thing that I can see out of, bringing the Bibles back into schools is that, and teaching it is that, maybe, the kids, when they read it and they'll read the Old Testament, they'll see the feasts, the true Sabbath, and it may pop up a light bulb in their heads, and they'll start following the feast and the true Sabbath, and I think that's a good thing that the Bible was being taught. I mean, that was the original purpose of public schools, was to teach the Bible.
Now, I want to point out too, Heavenly Hans Ruth said a lot of people don't know that Enoch 2 and 3 are evil. Yeah, because Enoch, we got Enoch 1, right? And it was a rabbi much later on created. He wrote the books of 2nd Enoch and 3rd Enoch. So I don't ever encourage anybody to read those. They're based off of Gnostics type crap and Jewish mysticism. So I would stay away from those things.
Oh yeah, most definitely. The Book of Enoch. I remember when I read through it, I was just like, wow! It was explaining spiritual things about the sun, the moon.
Yep.
It's hard to describe it. All I can say is that it's a very beautiful book, and
right to the science too, man. It's like everything about the moon, the portals and everything. It's crazy, man. It's like, wow.
Yeah, it was just really beautiful, and what I like about it is when it gives the information of the 200 angels that fell at Mount Hermon, and it talks about the giants. It's almost like background information for Genesis chapter 6.
Oh yeah, because if you read Enoch 6 and Genesis 6, it's verbatim. Exactly. And then of course Enoch gets a little more about the angels after that.
Yeah, and a lot of the scoffers at the Book of Enoch, they failed to realize that I believe Yeshua and someone else quotes the Book of Enoch in the New Testament.
Jude, yep. I think it's
and that there gives it legitimacy right there.
Yeah. It's yep. It's verbatim for Genesis 6, and I wrote it down somewhere in the book here. It's I always recommend the R.H. Charles edition. I like the hard copies better, but which is the hard copy here. But yeah, Jude and a few others, Genesis as well, because it talks about, and there's 2 Enochs. The first one is the evil Enoch, that was Cain's first son, but the second Enoch was the 7th from Adam on Seth's bloodline. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, he's a good Enoch.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, yeah, and I think the government unloaded some more UFO files down
Ooh, I didn't check
today.
that. Let me check that here. The alien disclosure. I know they had 3 sets, right? Do they have 4 now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think they got the 4th one.
That means I will check UFO war.gov. So here's oh yeah, it's a release number 4 now. Actually, let me download that as we speak. Oh yeah, July 10th.
Yeah.
So probably in a week or 2. I mean, actually a week or 2 weeks, whatever. I got all 4. Now I got all 4, so I'm gonna go through them and do a broadcast on it. Point out some of the. It is, if you notice as it goes on, there's more and more details. So.
Yeah, they still black out some things, but you can still get a lot of information.
Oh, nice.
From the files. Of course, they're not really. They're not aliens. They're fallen creatures or demons.
Yep. If you go to Steve Greer's channel, like him and Steven Spielberg, they're like they're trying their best to cover up that they're demons. They're saying, oh, they're not demons, and so that you got all these so-called experts and world leaders trying to cover up the fact that they are demons. You know what I mean? And credit to J.D. Vance, our vice president. He came out and said, no, they're demons. You know, he's firm with that. So does Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, I remember seeing that where both of them said that they were demons.
Yep.
Yeah, they deserve a lot of credit for that. And did you hear Tucker Carlson's going to form a third party?
Yeah.
How do you think it'll turn out? Do you think he'll be successful?
I hope so, because there was a lot of people over the years that attempted that. And it's like, unfortunately, it came to failure or whatever, because the 2 dominant systems. I mean, like Republicans and Democrats, and the thing is too, even you could have a third party. It's electoral college. If the electoral college won't bend, I mean, they're gonna, it's useless. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I hope so, because that'd be cool. Have another alternative, which there is, because you got the Libertarian Party. It's a legit party. I mean, of course, you got Independents and Republican, Democrat, and then you got Green Party and all that stuff. And
yeah, one thing about the Libertarian Party is that they're very pro Second Amendment. They don't believe in any kind of restrictions on guns.
Yeah, same. Yeah,
and they're very consistent on the First Amendment, and they want to get us out of the wars overseas. There's a lot of, like, if a conservative or a liberal would look at the Libertarian platform, they might see some things they disagree with, but the things that they'll also find some things that they agree with, and I think the pros outweigh the cons with the Libertarian Party.
Yeah.
They just need to get for president, they need to get somebody well known. That's what I've noticed. What's hurt the Libertarian Party is, and other third parties, is they don't get a charismatic candidate that's well known.
Yeah.
And
like another Ron Paul or something would be awesome.
Yeah, I tell you, if Dr. Ron Paul had been president, man, this country would have turned around.
Well, I loved Ron Paul. I got to Yeah, you seen that. I interviewed him and everything, and he was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope
Ron
to
Paul.
meet him one day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, well, I guess that's about all I had, and I just want to wish you a happy Shabbat.
You too, brother.
All right. God
Shabbat
bless.
shalom. God bless you, man. So we'll take one more phone call. I think it's Brother Texas Haas. But before we go, if you guys need to get a hold of me, my email address right there, truthradioshow@outlook.com. And as my physical address, 65 Manchester Street, Unit 10, West Warwick, Rhode Island, 02893. And if you guys want to make a donation, contribution to this broadcast and to this ministry, the link is in the chat room there. As you can see right down over here. If you're in the chat room there, you can see it right there. And that's our Ko-Fi page. So basically, it's a page that you don't have to sign up for nothing. You donate what you want, pay however you want, and that's it. You don't have to sign up for nothing. But we do go to PayPal, Venmo, CashApp, and all that good stuff. So, yeah, it's in the description of the video if you're watching later. So, yeah, thank you guys so much. And we'll take one more phone call here. I think his brother Texas Haas. And thank you for the donations earlier. You guys are awesome, brother.
Hey, what do you know?
Hey, what's up, brother? How you doing, bro? Hey, it worked, yeah.
Oh, hold on a second.
Yep.
There, man. You hear me?
Yep.
All right.
Oh, wow, it worked.
Hey, I'm amazed you were able to dial straight through this time.
Yeah, me too, because usually it goes,
Yeah, no. You usually have to message me and say, okay, call in now. Hey, first off, many blessings to you and shalom.
Shalom to you.
I was happy to hear that you were able to celebrate the 4th with your family and have an enjoyable time.
Yeah.
Putting it in perspective, you know, that it's a blessing for God to be born in this country.
Yep.
I pity all those people that don't understand that this is truly a country of many blessings, and one of them is just being born here to enjoy those blessings.
Yep.
But people don't realize that. They're not good stewards of what God has given them.
Exactly.
The other thing is, while I was sitting here, I was with Lona over there in Australia. She had convinced you to talk about the children, you know, in Satan's influence and indoctrination of them. I hope that you would include this little topic. Satan's using technology to at children at a very young age, and basically this train, and you can already see it in adults now that grew up with cell phones and stuff like these computers. They learn to interact with machines and not humans. And that's all part of Satan's plan, to get people interacting with machines and not other humans. And one of the reasons why that is so dangerous is because there's many different levels of how you can create a soul tie with somebody. And for a regenerated person to come into the, the presence of another regenerated person, or even a person that's not been regenerated yet, but can be regenerated, is that soul tie exists by connecting with their souls through their eyes. The windows are the soul to the eye.
Yeah.
But if you take that away from humans, that spiritual connection of interface with another human, you're not getting those soul ties, and you're not communicating on a spiritual level with other humans. So, you know, that's something to safeguard against technology with kids coming up. And you got to understand there's already generations of kids that have been saturated with these technological advances, especially with the cell phone, the game boards, the computers and stuff. They never really learned how to interface with people, how to tell when someone's lying to you, how to believe when someone's telling you the truth or giving you a good advice or something like this, because they're missing that connection, that soul-tie connection with another human.
And I think that Scamdemic did that too. You know, in the Scamdemic, the remote viewing in school, you know, they're doing schools and classrooms. I mean, at your own house and everything.
Definitely. To separate people and pull on their own and not have interface. But that technology is a constant little tool that the devil's using.
Yep.
To especially the kids that even, you know, like Lona was saying, you know, 3rd grade, 4th grade, I mean, even probably kindergarten, where these kids first learn to interact with a machine and not other humans. And that's how you learn to become human, is interacting with humans at all different levels. You know, or levels, but all different ages. Kids to kids, kids to older kids, kids to adults, adults to kids, you know. I mean, you got to have that soul tie connection. You got to be able to read each other's spirits through their eyes, look at their inflections, but you can't get that if they're buried their face down in their phone.
Yeah.
It's just not happening. And let's see, another thing I want to talk to you about. I think I don't want to put words in his mouth. Craig there kind of touched on the subject, but I wanted to go in this direction that how do I say this? All right, pre now. Go back 30 years, whatever you want to go, how far you want to go back. You know, there was the political entity, the demonic political entity. There was the demonic banking and financial entity. There was the demonic religious organization as an entity. Now, those 3 entities, all demonically led, are Satan's tools to conquer over humans, but now there's a 4th head coming up, and that's the technocrats. Now, the technocrats are a special breed of demonic energy because they're taking over the banking, the political, and the religious and moving it into a technocratic power struggle over all the others. So just like these different countries are warring with each other, the demonic spirits and energies that are under Satan's command also are warring with each other. And what you see is a battle between the old institutions of the political, the banking, and the religious, up now being taken over by the technocrats. Really, anybody with any sense of all knows that you don't need thousands of data centers.
No.
You don't need to collect every single piece of information through flock cameras and surveillance and stuff like this, unless you're going to use that information for something else other than just collecting data. And I am in my own opinion, I think your data centers can be transformed to, instead of collecting data, now that they got all the data, they can use those data centers and modify them to go attack you with frequencies, interrupt your spiritual development, interrupt your relationship with God through those frequencies from all those data centers. That's why they needed so many of them.
Yeah.
So they can personally construct a battle game for you, to go against you personally. And that's why, I think there's so many of these data farms. Yeah, they're wasting electricity. Yeah, they're wasting a lot of water and polluting and polluting and polluting. But I think the ultimate gear here is to collect all that data to be used to develop a war plan against you personally when they turn that around and they start. I mean, what is MK Ultra? Wasn't that about frequencies?
Yep.
Being able to project a frequency into another person's brain and make them do things. And I mean, you know, if you got a data center that's been converted and now it transmits frequencies that are geared to attack you on a personal level, whether it be through your cell phone or in now 2027 your car, because your whole car is not going to be nothing but AI wrapped around you.
Yeah.
Traveling the road at 70 miles an hour. I mean, you know, your refrigerator, your air conditioner, everything's going to be lined up against you in that data center that they can just control your life.
Mm-hmm.
You think you got it set for 71 degrees in your house? Surprise, AI is going to say, he really can't stand the heat, so let's just bump it up there to 84 degrees and not let it cool back down. But we'll let the digital read that it's 71 degrees. So, you know, here we go. Call the AC man out there, spend more money to find out. He's going to tell you, well, I don't understand. Your thermometer says 71. You got it set for 71.
Yep.
But it's not cool. Yeah, I mean, just that one little example, how they're going to use these frequency models to attack you at every point. They're going to put up barriers and everything else.
Oh, yeah,
But
I believe it.
we got a weapon that they cannot overcome.
Yep.
We have the blood of Christ.
Yep.
We're in a relationship with the creator of the universe, and he is in control. So they can play all the games they want. But, you know, our God is a righteous God. He's going to care
Amen
for
to
his
that.
remnant.
And we got the Holy Spirit, the blood of Christ, and the power of God. And so no technology in the world could penetrate that.
There you go.
Yeah, I wrote that down too. So, like you said, incorporate the game, social media, like interacting with kids to get them ahead of time. You know what I mean? And not people. And you're right, man, because like the social level is crazy now. It's on the decline. I remember when I was a kid, we were kids. I mean, you get on a city bus, you talk to everybody. You're in the registry, you talk to everybody, and everything else. And now it's like everybody's on their phones.
You learn who the bullies were, and you learn how to talk them out of being a bully to you. And they took it. You may have got your butt kicked a couple of times, but you finally convinced them, hey, I'm not worth your effort.
Yeah.
But you would never learn how to do that unless you were able to communicate with another Houston on that spiritual level.
Yep. Exactly. And that's the thing too. And I think COVID was a big thing of that because to decline people socially and with the mask because it's a ritual in the cult, it robs you humanity. Yeah, and some cult practices, even secret society, they isolate you to take away your humanity. You know what I mean? Then reprogram you. And I think that, I mean, you look around, you see people still wearing masks around, like, and it's ridiculous, and people are afraid to even go anywhere. You know, it's unreal, and like just a whole level of humanity. I call it the stupid era because I can't explain it. So you can imagine explaining to your kid, your grandkids one day, hey, Dad or Grandpa, what happened back in 2020? And it's like, just say, look up the word retardness, whatever, and that's exactly what happened. It was disgusting. One-way stickers on the floors and the bathrooms, like shut off every other stall. Just the dumbest stuff. I mean, you sitting down, you can take your mask off, and you stand up, you got to put it on.
Yeah, exactly. And one other thing I had on my mind that I want to talk to you about.
Yep.
Now, I don't want you to have any preconceived ideas when I say this.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, chasing rabbit holes is another demonic tool.
Yeah. Yep.
Because in our society, you already know people are not reading their Bible.
Yep.
They don't have that cornerstone.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of people, they hear something interesting, a little tidbit, a stinger about some biblical rabbit hole that you could chase and learn about fairies, Bigfoot, the land beyond the ice wall, AI, aliens, and domes, okay? The DUMBS,
Yeah.
underground,
Military
brawlers,
bunkers,
space
yeah.
aliens. Anyways, what I'm trying to get to is any one of these topics, a person that's not well-rounded or well-founded in the scriptures has that cornerstone, and Jesus Christ as their cornerstone. They get into these interesting topics, and unfortunately, those topics leave way to a lot of imposters delivering you bad scripture.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And false information.
Yep.
And that's what leads a lot of people astray. I've had too many good friends. They were, they were good Christians. They were reading their Bible. They weren't as strong as they should have been. But boy, they got a hold of their own little rabbit holes. And then all of a sudden, after a while, nothing the Bible has to say is inadequate. It's written wrong. Those aren't the original scriptures. You don't get all the information. You got to go over here. You got to go over there. You got to listen to this person here. Instead of reading your Bible.
Yeah, I went on a rant the other day.
That's just another passive thought I've had this week about, man, I can't believe these people get off in these rabbit holes. I find some of them interesting too, but I'm back at my Bible.
Yep.
I look at it from biblical scriptures and what it means, how the devil's using that information to try to attack me.
And the other day, I don't know if you see my broadcast on YouTube here, I went on a rant because John Pounders, he went out way with his family for the weekend. He's got this cup holder that says 250th anniversary, whatever. I go out with the family enjoying the fireworks and all that. And here's the thing, right? You'd think people would be like, oh, great, you guys deserve a good weekend with your families, right? Nope, not at all. Oh, Dan, did you know fireworks are satanic? Yeah, did you know the Illuminati signed the Declaration of Independence, even though the Illuminati wasn't here then? Mind you that. They were just like a month old, literally. And all these wild conspiracies because of some people's stupid YouTube. And, and you can't enjoy the good time. Then you would explain to people, you sit there and explain, when God gave Israel, the land of milk and honey, to the Jews, he told them to take care of the land, have honor in your land, protect your land, right? And like you point out when you called, we went out and enjoyed our land. This is the land that the Lord's given us, you know what I mean? And then people think, oh, it's satanic and this and that and the other thing, and they don't know history, they don't know the Bible. So, like you were saying, they go out and listen to these goofs on YouTube, because some guy says, and one guy said writing in cursive was a satanic ritual. I'm like, what? You know what I mean? Like, and these people come out with the bogus stuff. Like, I'm like, and anybody knows anything about the Illuminati, when they were formed in May 1st, 1776, that was just to break the ties away from Rome and all that. And they weren't even here at the time. You know what I mean? It took them about 6-7 years to get to this country to infiltrate the Masonic lodges. And it was 6 years later, it took them 6 years to actually infiltrate the Masonic lodges in Europe and more years to come here. So when the Declaration of Independence was signed, only a fraction of them were Freemasons. But it had nothing to do with the Illuminati, you know what I mean? And you get all these people with these like snowball ideas because they heard somebody on a YouTube channel say something. You know what I mean?
Just look at the foundation of the Freemasons.
Yeah.
Before the Illuminatis, did you know they only let Christians in there?
Yeah. Yep.
Upstanding, church-going Christians. That was a prerequisite for being in there. And the secrets they were talking about were of their own trade.
Yeah,
you understand? It was about their trade and not about other things.
Yep.
But as Illuminati came to birth, I tell you when it happened. Interesting fact, 1723, I think it was, is when the Freemasons adopted a doctrine of tolerance. And that opened a floodgate.
Yeah.
And the reason why they did that was there was a big turmoil amongst the Catholics and the Protestants inside the Freemasons. Who was right? You know, the Protestants didn't like what the Catholics thought. Catholics didn't like what the Protestants thought.
Yep.
And so there was big turmoil inside the Freemasonry. So in 1723, I believe that was the year, they adopted the doctrine of tolerance. Now, even at that time, you weren't allowed to take in the active role in Freemasonry as a full-fledged member unless you were a Christian. They absolutely didn't let any atheists in there.
No.
They said, no way they're atheists. But because they opened that doctrine, opened that floodgate, it was like a cancer that grew. Now you can let different religious organizations in there. Now you can let different cultures in there. And it is what it is today because of that one little thing they compromised.
Yep.
They compromised in 1723 and drew up a doctrine that they thought was going to
and it took many decades
between the infighting between two Christian groups, as they stated it. But think about what Constantinople did.
Yep.
He had pagans fighting with Christians, fighting with Jews, and he wanted one solid state.
Yep.
So he created Christianity that took pagan, Jewish, Christian, threw it all into a big mixing bowl, mixed it up, said, here's our religion.
Yep.
Celebrate this and only this. And then it was the big compromise of all times for the wrong reasons. You can't compromise.
Exactly.
You can't.
And it took many, many decades for that portion to get over here in America. Because I think it was 1782, was the Congress of Wilhelmsbad. In 1782, this is like 6 years after the Declaration of Independence, that's when the Illuminati converged with Freemasonry. And it took years later for them to actually get over here because Reverend Jedediah was warning George Washington about the infiltration in the nefarious Illuminati. It's in the book Proof of Conspiracy by John Robeson. And it took many years for the Illuminati to get here. You know what I mean? This is well into the 1790s, you know what I mean? Long after the Declaration of Independence. And so people say, oh, the Illuminati signed the Declaration. It's like, no, there was no Illuminati here at the time to do that, you know? And, you know, people just don't know history. And they rather listen to a guy. And, you know, the thing, too, the rabbit holes you're talking about, right? There's these channels out there that claim to be Christian, but everything they do is they're using gematria constantly. And yeah, you could turn, like, I could turn your name into 666 somehow, you know what I mean? I'll convert you with the date or whatever. Oh, look, Dan Bidondi, talking, he's pointing his finger up. It's 12:02 a.m. It's 7/11, 2026. If you add that times this, multiply Texas Haas, divide by Brother Tim who called in first, and the third call was Brother Craig. You divide that by 2, it's 666. They're Antichrist people. That's how ignorant that stuff is.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it really is. It's insane. And these YouTube channels, they do that, just that. And they make people like us look bad. And we're trying to we dive into those topics and all that. But like you said, you know, the bottom line is the scriptures. You know what I mean? Go by what the scripture says, not off some other stuff. You know.
That's right. Got to have that cornerstone.
Yep. Exactly. Well, thank you, my brother. Great call.
All right, thank you, man. Talk to you later, and happy 4th.
You too, brother. God bless.
God bless you.
So that'll be do it for phone calls tonight. And so thank you guys for the calls. I still got to upload this to the other channel. So if you're watching later on Rumble, I apologize. What I do is, like, when I broadcast on Rumble, I broadcast from here, and so at home I got it on my laptop that I transmit the broadcast, and it goes onto Rumble, whatever the case. And I forgot to plug my laptop in. So when I called my wife before the show to hit the button, the stream button, she goes, "Your laptop's dead." I'm like, "Oh crap!" And I remember I forgot to plug it in, so I might just forget about it. You know what I mean? By the time to set it back up again, we would have been late. So yeah, and that's the thing, guys. Like again, and you know, people argue, "Oh, the traditions of man." Jesus wasn't talking about that stuff. There is nothing wrong. Again, people in Israel, they celebrated the land that God gave them. You know what I mean? If you want to go out on the 4th of July with your family and watch the fireworks, celebrate that the Lord's blessed us with this beautiful country. Nothing wrong with that. Nobody's worshiping the flag. Nobody's worshiping, idolizing the flag of presidents or anything like that. You know, the country's about us, we the people, that the Lord's given us, that God-given inalienable rights. You know what I mean? And that's why I celebrate it. Well, that's why I do that. You know what I mean? Because it's the land that the Lord's given us. You know what I mean? And so people just forget the basics because they go far into the conspiracy holes and everything else. And because you got some goose on YouTube, fireworks are satanic. What? Oh, if you write in cursive, you're writing curses. What? Because it's cursive, get it? You know, I don't get it. And, you know, yeah, do they? Might, you know, back then everybody wrote in cursive. I don't really think there was really any printing, to tell you the truth. Unless it was a print they would make the blocks as prints, the printings, but everybody wrote in cursive. I remember going to school when I was young, we all written in cursive, you know. It's not satanic to write in cursive. Just like we mentioned earlier about using herbs and seeds and all that for healing and medical stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, do witches use those things? Yes, they do. Do pagans use those things? Yes, they do, for nefarious things. Do people write curses and cursive? Yeah, they did. But it doesn't mean cursive's evil. Just like we talked about the goat tonight, right? It doesn't mean owning the goat is evil. It doesn't mean that goat walking around is an evil demonic being. No. You know what I mean? It's just a thing called, and I think, you know, right into our own community till this word literally doesn't transpire with these people either, is a word called common sense. This is why Jesus had to talk in parables to explain things, because even people back then lacked common sense. You know what I mean? Like, it's the common sense. You know what I mean? It's simple as that. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with enjoying the day with your family. Nobody's worshiping, idolizing, nothing. They're just out there enjoying the day and then celebrating this beautiful country that the Lord's given us. No other country in the world, the stuff we do in this country, you can't get it with, not even Canada. Be blessed with that, you know what I mean? And yeah, the economy's bad right now. Gas prices are up, things are going on. Yeah, absolutely. There's sex trafficking going on and all that. But for the most, what other country in the world would you rather be in? I could go out tomorrow, right now. They're closed now, but tomorrow I could grab my guns, go down to the shooting range. Go to my friend's house, go shoot in his backyard. I could go right down in the middle of the sea, scream, Jesus Christ is Lord. I could preach the Bible in the corner. Where else could you do that without getting shot or beheaded, things like that? Yeah. So really evaluate yourself before you mention that stuff, you know what I mean? And no, there is not one Illuminati man who signed the Declaration of Independence. And David Carrico made this great point the other night, great point. Because people are bashing, oh, you shouldn't be patriotic, it's unbiblical. Really? No, it's not unbiblical. Because the core tenets of the Illuminati, the core tenets of communism, every evil system in the world, all can't stand patriotism. They hate national, same thing. Patriotism, national, it's the same thing. They hate it with a passion. So why do you think the most evil systems in the world hate that? It's going to tell you one thing. Because they don't want you having, again, we're not evil pride, but I'm talking about having, being proud of being of your country. Like Lorna, I'm sure she's proud to be, she's a patriot for Australia. In the UK going on now, you got the group called Britain First, putting Britain first, and they're proud to be British. That's patriotism. Here in America, I'm an American patriot. Nothing wrong with that. The Jews, when God gave them the land of Israel, they were patriots. They defended Israel. God even instructed them to build an army, to take up arms, to defend Israel, to honor the land. You know what I mean? Adam and Eve did that too in the garden. They didn't just sit around and inspect everything for free. They worked. They worked the garden. You know what I mean? That's what it's about. When we celebrate the 4th of July, we're not out there honoring flags or whatever the case. Well, I'm sorry, worshiping them. No. We're just respecting the land that the Lord's given us. And John Pounders with his family for the weekend, same with me. Nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? It was just like disgusting me that people come up with these wild, stupid things with no baseless claims, nothing to back it up. And I ask people to cite their source. Of course, they can't. Or they'll recite some guy from a YouTube video. I know very much a lot about the occult, okay? And there's nothing. And the occult world hate patriotism, by the way. So what they hate, what they think is good is evil, and what they think is evil is good. That's why the Bible says, "Woe to those who turn evil good and good evil." You know what I mean? And so. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that stuff. You know what I mean? So if you want to go out for the 4th of July or, they're doing fireworks at the park down the street Saturday night, go. Take your family and go. Have a good time. And people say, the bread and circus. There's no, all right, we understand Rome did that. There is nothing wrong with taking your family, going to a football game. Nothing wrong, because here's the thing. At these games, nobody's talking about politics. Nobody's fighting. You're there for common goal to support your team. 4 or 5 hours out with your family is beautiful. Yeah, unlike from all the crap in the world you got to deal with all week. Work, this, that, and all that, right? If you take your family out for an outing for the weekend or a day, it breaks away from that. It's resting. It's part of resting. Literally, if you go, just say Saturday's a football game, right? You want to go there, that's part of resting. You're not working. You're taking a break from all the garbage you have to deal with all week. All the crap that's been piled on you. The work. You come home, you got to deal with bills. You got to come home with complaining about this and that and the other thing. So on a Saturday or Sunday, let's go to the beach with the family. Let's go watch the football game. Let's go root on the Patriots. Let's go watch the fireworks display at the 4th of July celebration. Let's go to the fair there they have in D.C. That's beautiful. You're spending time with the family. You're getting away from all the crap you have to deal with. It's resting. And you're just living, you know what I mean? God wants us to live, not be hiding in the house all the time. Oh my God, there's a conspiracy around every corner. And if I turn my doorknob and go outside at 11 a.m., the Illuminati is going to get me. You know what I mean? That you're taking stuff way too far if you have that kind of mindset. Number one, you're protected by the Holy Spirit. If you claim to be a true believer, you shouldn't have to worry about any of that crap. Get your butt out, get out and enjoy the day. God's given us this beautiful land, this beautiful world for us to enjoy it. And we understand, our permanent home ain't here. But while we're here, we're supposed to love our land. Okay? Go out and enjoy it. Go to the beach and just enjoy God's stuff He's given us. Go outside and look up in the sky at all the stars and everything. Go hike up in the mountains and camp out there. And see the wonders of the world that the Lord's given us. Not sitting in your house on YouTube every 2 seconds watching this guy driving in this car talking about some stupid crap. Oh my God, I can't go outside. Oh man, they're going to zap us. You know what I mean? Like, give me a break. Give me a break. Get a life. Like, that's what I have to say. You know what I mean? Go out and enjoy your time with your family and don't worry about it. Pray that the Lord protect you and all that. And He's given us this beautiful world to enjoy it. All those stars He's made for us. You can't even comprehend that, can you? Go outside right now if it's clear out. Go out and look up in the sky. All that's for us to give light upon the earth. The beautiful vastness of the firmament. The vastness of the oceans, the mountaintops, just out in, I don't like to say nature, God's creation. Enjoy it. He's given it to us, for us. He's put these things here for us. The animals here for us. The trees here for us. The mountains here for us. The stars for us. So take your tinfoil hat off. I know I wear one all the time. Take it off and go enjoy nature. No, I'm not nature. God's creation. I hate that word, nature. Go enjoy God's creation. You know what I mean? Other than that, I'm done ranting here. It just aggravates me because you can't do nothing at all. Nothing at all without people complaining and moaning and complaining. On my Facebook, just because it was a few years ago. I went out to a place and I was for a wrestling promotion, and just because the venue had Halloween stuff there. Oh, I didn't hear the end of that. Oh man, they act like I was endorsing Halloween. No, I was at a place that was celebrating Halloween. It's not my fault. So what am I supposed to stay in the house and do nothing? I'm not taking part of Halloween things. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just crazy. I remember going out to, where the heck did I go? I went out to dinner. It was a restaurant. And there was some Christmas stuff in the background. Had nothing to do with me. And they're like, oh, look at this. Oh, Dan, you should. It's like, what? I wasn't even part of that. You know what I mean? It's like you can't do nothing at all without somebody saying something stupid. It's ridiculous. You know what I mean? And people within their own community at that. You know what I mean? I would expect that from people outside of it, but within their own community, I mean, you need to have a thing called common sense, man. Like, seriously. And, it's like, it really ticks me off. And especially, I always bite my tongue with my stuff. Then when I seen people all over John Pounders, because there he had a cup holder that says this here. No, where is it? No. I don't know. Yeah, this, yeah. You know what I mean? And I made this, people say, oh, Dan, you're idolizing the flag. No, I'm just celebrating this country that the Lord's given us. That's all it is. There's no Illuminati or Freemason stuff or symbolism or whatever. I'm just celebrating the land that the Lord's given us and blessed us with. That's all I'm doing. My heart goes to Jesus first. You know what I mean? That's all it's about. You know what I mean? So, but to finish on a good note, you know what I mean? Because I don't want to get aggravated. We're going into the Shabbat, so everybody just enjoy yourselves. That's all. Tomorrow, it's the summertime. Get out and enjoy it. Because hey, if you live in New England, anybody who lives in the upper parts of the United States knows darn well. If you live in Canada, you know too. Like these summer months don't last long at all. You know, before we know it, we're gonna be drizzling and cold, going out to slushy parking lots. Snowfall, cold rain, and all that garbage, murky days and all that. But when we get the sun out, it's beautiful, nice and hot. Get out to the beach, get out to these places with your family and just have fun, you know. And that's what I'm doing this weekend. You know what I mean? I'm going to go out with the family for the weekend. Hopefully it doesn't rain, but we're going to enjoy the weekend. You know what I mean? Nothing wrong with that. So I'm going to go enjoy the beautiful land that the Lord's given me. Plain and simple. So love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Lorna, thank you for the call. Tim, Craig, and Texas Haas, thank you guys so much. And thank you all in the chat room. Let me see. Truth and Fire by Dan Bidondi. Thanks, Brother Tim. And Candace Farmer, God bless you. And Nanette, Abba, well, who else is here? Yeah, everybody on the chat. Thank you guys so much. And yeah, all right, so love you guys. God bless, shalom. And remember, you are the resistance. So see you soon.
CN, Portals and Stargates, Fallen Angel Ancient Technology on Spiritual Warfare Friday live 9 p.m. with Dan Bidondi and Gillyan Stone.